2, 1, go. Yo, what's up, Valen? J Hood, Reiner, Yatharth, Neo. Welcome in, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Christian with the notification gang. Let's get it. MD. 5 minutes. Yeah, I was getting set up. That's my bad. Yo, what's up, Look Less? What's up, Spinoid? What's up, MEJP? Graphics. Tiger. Oh no, MEJP's computer's about to die. Yo, what's up, Alex? What's up, Gail? Dr. Stalemate, hello. Yeah, Reiner, catching Lando raids can be tough for sure. What's up, Kelcab? What's up, J Hood? Yo. Sohab, please don't spam, homie. We'll see you in 5 minutes, dude. Yo, what's up, Emmanuel? What's up, Jazz? It's not just a stall-free watch party today. We have quite possibly, yo, what's up, Drade? The most hyped guest that one could ever have on one of these streams. Yo, what's up, Fict? Y'all know him. The one, the only world champion for Pokemon Go. ITSAXN in the house. Welcome in, my friend. Thank you so much for being here.
How's it going, man? I'm doing good. I thank you so much for having me here.
I am incredibly excited to have someone with your expertise who's obviously conquered a meta to the point where you're world champion, and getting to see your thoughts here on Liverpool, because this is the... Also, let me know, chat, because I can adjust Axon's levels as needed. So let me know how his volume is.
Yeah, so. Hopefully it's all balanced well, but
yes,
we'll see.
Yo, we got J Hood with 5 gifties. Thank you so much, man. Gifted to Gale, Fict, Look Less, Dr. Stalemate, and Alex Novak. I will write down those jumping jacks for when I next stream GBL. Because today, since we have our wonderful guest here, we will be prioritizing the battles. But we will be taking a look at the meta here. But yeah, big thanks to J Hood. I appreciate you supporting the content, homie. The meta breakdown, Gligar's been #1 for a bit. It's still up there, but we do see Lickitung at 62%.
Yeah, it's crazy that Licky's kind of just taken top spot now. But it makes sense when we see like the rest of these Pokemon here. Like, I mean, there's a couple counter users. You have Annihilate, you have Vigoroth, you have Poliwrath, and then you have Registeel. That's like the Steel type that actually does beat Lickitung. But everything else, Licky, it can have play into pretty much anything here. It makes sense that Licky is in that top spot.
Yeah.
But with Vigoroth doing so well at Portland and at Charlotte, it is maybe just a little bit surprising with, at least to me, with how high it is. It's 62% for Lickitung, so that's kind of crazy.
And then Vigoroth is only at 12%. I guess people just still a little bit worried about Annihilate, but we see like a very different looking meta, I would say, because oftentimes like with Metacham, stuff like that, we're very used to counter users being very prevalent, but the highest is Annihilate at only 20%, which is a bit of an interesting adjustment where we see Licky and all the things it beats on 2 through 5, and then Cress, which unless you have like the Dunebug Crest, Licky still has a pretty nice time there. So
yeah. I mean, especially like with Cresselia, I think a lot of people kind of started using that now as one of the premier anti-fighters. Especially with Annihilate being a thing, it's kind of hard to find a Pokemon that walls, Ice, Fighting, and Ghost. And while Cresselia doesn't wall Ghost, obviously, it has a pretty good matchup because you're resisting the counters, you're outpacing it to moves. So Cresselia is kind of that premier Annihilate counter.
That makes sense.
And I've been seeing like kind of a mix right now between like Future Sight Cresselia and Moonblast. I've personally always been a fan of Moonblast.
Okay.
But I mean, it's hard to argue, or it's hard to like not say that Future Sight isn't a good play. It's got play against like Lickitung, right? You can flip Lickitung in the ones with Future Sight.
I was stunned to see it was I think it was Dune's Crest with a double Moonblast and a Grass Knot was able to win the zeros. I won't leak the IVs, but he showed me the IVs and I was like, okay, I now understand why only your Cresselia is able to do that.
His is insane. It's like, I can't say what it is. I don't want to dox him or anything.
Exactly,
here.
Yeah, but the IVs are unreal. Crazy. The IVs are absolutely unreal. All right, and then we're going to be hopping through to the matches here. And I'm going to make sure to have our volume off just so that way we don't have any like copyrighted Pokemon music playing here. And we can take a look at our teams. So we have a pretty standard, well, I would say a bit of an interesting team here from Welton. He has the Annihilate, the Mantine, Reggie, and then he has the Whiscash, Lickitung, and the Azumarill, and Hawkeye emptying the spice cabinet here with the Meganium, the Skeledirge, the Obstagoon, the Shadow Zapdos, the Cresselia, and the Bastiodon.
Team is wild. I honestly kind of love the Zapdos here, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
like,
it
has so much play.
It does, because even against something like Reggie, as long as you have shields, like 0 fast move pressure there, like Zapdos loves those matchups where there's just no fast move pressure to speak of whatsoever. So it'll be really interesting to see how it gets piloted. I don't think I ever thought I would say this, but Meganium is looking kind of decent here too. Like 2 waters, a Licky, and I mean Meganium isn't the most attack weighted, but everything wins CMP over Licky basically. And then Reggie as well. Meganium's looking not bad. We will have to see if he is cracking the meta here or if the team is unable to put it together, but he is clearly emptying the spice cabinet.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, literally nothing resists grass aside from Registeel, and you have Earthquake for that. So, Meganium, honestly, it might be kind of a sleeper pick here.
Yeah, I'm excited as we hop into game number 1, leading that Meganium into the Lickitung, and this should just be a good lead for the Meganium, because it should be 6-6-5 pacing, so you're going to either win charge attack priority or outpace if it gets further on down the line. So this should just be being able to win switch, and we see in the back the Cresselia, and there it is, that Shadow Zapdos in the back.
Yeah, I think the Meganium matchup here plays out pretty similarly to the Superior matchup.
Okay.
Meganium is very slightly like more attack weighted, but for the most part, this matchup's going to play out the same way there. Where as long as the Meganium shields as much as the Licky does, the Meganium should have this. With that said, if you get shields down with your Shadow Zapdos, you might even just want to save shield advantage for that. And like Meganium right here, it's kind of already put in a lot of work. And Lickitung being one of the best Shadow Zapdos counters, I mean, I kind of agree with this play. Just let the Meganium go down, try to sweep with Zap.
Yeah. It feels awkward to bring in Crest here, but I really like the play to send in the Crest, because Crest can take the hits that... I mean, one body slam from Shadow Zapdos, like onto Shadow Zapdos, and you will immediately be feeling that. So I like the play here to basically just try and sweep. Drill Peck plus the Thundershock should 2-shot the Cash unless the Cash gets the debuff. If it gets the debuff, this could get uncomfortable. But I mean, Zap is looking pretty nice in the back here. Body Slam lands. We do see it is Grass Knot Future Sight. I am combining moves here. Grass Knight. But he's going for the undercharge. Oh, and that looks like a good undercharge.
That was very well played. Getting that undercharge there. Does he gets the farm down before the future or before the body slam comes out too.
Nice.
He sees the Mantine. Honestly, I think I would have preferred if you just swapped out with this energy here.
That's fair.
He doesn't know what's in the back. We know what's in the back. This Grass Knot would have been so much more impactful against the Whiscash.
Yeah.
But we're going to see the Zapdos come out now. It's going to be a game of debuffs. I think that you can 2-shot a Whiscash if you don't get debuffed.
Yeah.
So it's kind of going to be a coin flip here on how this matchup plays out.
And speaking of Whiscash, from watching your streams, it seems like you've been a very big fan of the Shadow version of that lately, which hasn't seen a lot of Pokemon play, but it seems like you've definitely been a fan.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be better in this specific matchup, because I'm sure you'd probably still get 2-shot by the Drill Peck even if you get the debuffs.
Oh, there it is! Oh no!
Shadow Cash, in my opinion, a little underrated with the ability to like 2-shot Skarmory, basically 1-shot Shadow Gligar.
2-shot Skarmory is a nice get there. And unfortunately, it looks like this drill peck will not put it in Thundershock range due to that debuff.
No fast pressure here.
He definitely. I think the only way he wins this is by preserving the zap, but it's gonna be really hard to do.
Yeah, I don't think you can catch a move here. You kind of need to. You need to swap out to.
Yeah.
Oh,
he lets it go, and I mean, Cress just doesn't have the damage output here because he for sure needs 2 moves. A Future Sight doesn't knock out here. Mantine is exact same stats as Skarm, right? I think.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So
you're just not resisting the moves.
Yeah. It has okay bulk. It has okay bulk.
Yeah, it's pretty good bulk, honestly. And like it's not known for hitting very hard, but it doesn't really have to hit hard. It just has to hit twice here, and we'll be taking down the Cresselia here game 1.
Yep. So Welton able to survive the onslaught of Meganium Shadow Zapdos core and take it. So it is open team sheets. Yes.
EVA to Bastiodon game 1.
Bold.
That's a little rough here for our opponent. I wonder if our opponent's or if Hawkeye is going to swap over to Bastiodon at all, because it could have a little bit of play to try to break through that Licky Mantine core.
Yeah. And the very interesting thing here is with open team sheets is we've seen people trend away from Hydro Pump, but the Azu moveset is known, and Basti is very comfortable into a non-Hydro Pump Azu. And that was one thing that I really liked about Charlotte was like in the booth, because it's open team sheets, we were able to have that info ahead of time, and the competitors have the info like before the matches start. So that way we have the ability to take a look at it critically and figure out like how are they best going to formulate a game plan here, because it definitely feels like Licky. I mean, it definitely feels like Licky Cash is coming every game. So to me, it's so hard to bench that Meganium because that's just so good into that core, but he just didn't protect the Meganium. And then Cash does what Cash does, which is get debuffs. So, well, unless...
Yeah, I mean, this Cash is just so safe if it doesn't see that Meganium. And it's basically your only real counter to Zapdos. I mean, Lickitung also does decent because the fast moves add up so quickly. But you are basically forced into bringing the Whiscash just for that Zapdos, in my opinion.
Agreed. Looks like we have lock-ins for game number 2. It's Meganium into the Mantine. Not what Meganium was hoping to see. There is the Zapdos in the back, but unfortunately, there are the 2 best counters to the Zap in the back here, as we see the Licky and the Whiscash. So this is immediately putting Hawkeye on the back foot in this game where he needs to win to stay alive on the winner side of the bracket.
Oh wait, but he swaps out here. He baits out the Whisk. Dude, I kind of like this play. If he can get shield advantage here, and then farm down the Whiscash with his Meganium would put in a ton of work into the Mantine and Licky.
Agreed.
This is I like this play.
The Drill Peck lands, and there we can see the damage without a debuff applied, of course, because he actually gets to land it this time. Scald does so much damage here. He is choosing to let this go. The Zapdos does not get debuffed, withstands it, and now gets to force a shield from the Whiscash or win switch advantage.
He gets the shield from Whiscash here too, so shield advantage goes over to Hawkeye. Is he gonna throw him? He's gonna throw him if he didn't want to go for the farm down here. This is prime farm down range for Meganium. It's gonna get probably a Frenzy Plant, maybe a Frenzy Plant and a half coming out of this. And then nothing resists grass aside from Registeel, and you have Earthquake if they did bring a Registeel here. So Hawkeye, he's in a very commanding spot despite the kind of uncomfortable lead.
Agreed. Makes the Scald, but this is the easiest no shield of your life because Scald, I mean, a debuff is awkward, but the Mantine already took a non-debuffed Frenzy, so even if the debuff doesn't even happen, but a Frenzy is just going to KO here. Meganium is just in a really good position. Meganium winning charge attack priority. The Mantine already down a shield, has to give up a second one here if it wants to get this energy off. Like, trying to go for a switch, but it is charge attack priority. If he preserves this Mantine, understanding how valuable it is, he should be in a very good spot. He actually lets it go. Aerial Ace is undercharged, and now it's 2 shield Cresselia versus the world, and it's the Lickitung in the back.
Yeah, I mean, Lickitung, normally you'd be thinking this is a good matchup for it. Not in this case. Not when you're down 2 shields. You're still going to be able to put in a lot of lick damage here. But because this Cresselia does have those 2 protect shields, it's going to be able to pretty easily win this matchup. Maybe even come out with a move ready for that Mantine to deny its energy there.
So as someone who hasn't run a lot of Cresselia, in this situation here, it looks like he is going to need the 3 moves. Can you Future Sight into double Grass Knot, or do you still need the double Future Sight? I haven't run a lot of Cress because it looks like a double Future Sight will get it low, but I'm wondering, can you get greedy and go double Grass Knot?
I personally would double Grass Knot from this range.
Okay.
Because I don't think this Future Sight puts into farm down range. Grass Knot does about like 20 to 25%, so with the extra fast move damage, I think it would have been definitely more than enough to go for that. Future Sight was a bit of an overkill there, but you still get to this move before Licky even gets to another move.
Oh, man.
I'd say Hawkeye is still in a pretty good spot, even though he went for the Future Sight there.
Yeah, and the undercharge was, and I mean, this is not Aerial Ace range either. Like, he has to land an Ice Beam, so this is a very safe shield for Hawkeye, because even if he gets baited, at worst, he only gets to an Aerial Ace, and Aerial Ace is, I mean, I love Mantine, but Mantine is not known for being an offensive powerhouse of a Pokemon.
This is going to do nothing. This is going to do absolutely nothing. Cresselia is going to live with a solid chunk of health left. Yeah, and we can see game number 2 actually being taken up by Hawkeye, who kind of masterfully used his Zapdos to get shield advantage and put so much work in with that Meganium.
Yeah, I loved, as you had identified, that decision to get energy advantage Zapdos, being able to apply that pressure onto the cache, land the Drill Peck, actually survive the Scald as well, and just set up the Meganium so well. The beginning of that game looks really, really rough, like Meganium against the Flyer, and then the 2 Zapdos answers in the back, but he was able to play that beautifully, and it just goes to show that, like, from lock-ins, a lot of the time, and one of the things that I enjoy about this, like, is it is not, like, as opposed to, like, we always mention the Trev Owl meta where stuff could genuinely be over from lock-in, but there is actually, like, play there, which is very nice.
Once again, ABA to Basti, though.
The disrespect.
Mantine with Licky in the back. I don't know if Hawkeye's going to make that call. Maybe he brings in the Goon as a better Licky answer. Maybe he just sticks with the Meganium because it did so well for him. I think the one thing we know is probably going to come again is going to be that Shadow Zapdos. I
agree. I think, and granted, this could just be because I'm an Annihilate fanboy, but I think for Welton, if he's trying to go a little aggressive, something like an Annihilate safe switch could be very interesting, because if we take a look across the team, like, it does have its counters like the Zapdos and the Cresselia, but in my view, it would be extremely good at forcing shield advantage if that's how you're trying to play a game, is even against something like the Skeledirge, the Zapdos, or the Cresselia, up energy, Annihilate is very, very strong at forcing shields from things.
That's very true. But this, we see the Obstagoon actually come out into the Mantine. Oh man, that backline's looking kind of rough here. The Registeel is going to have a lot of play if it gets into that Cresselia. Honestly, Cresselia in the back is looking kind of uncomfortable right now for Hawkeye.
Yeah. It like, your best case scenario is definitely getting it onto the Licky, but barring a boost, I don't see a way that Obstagoon is going to be flipping this. And this is like, yeah. He did make an adjustment, but he didn't bring the Basti. Again, 3 times in a row. Just the disrespect of the ITSAXN. Sorry, the disrespect of, like, as you had mentioned, of the Basti lead.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if we look at Welton's team, he has Reggie, he has Whiscash, he has Annihilate, right? Basti would be kind of hard to bring, but when you start seeing these patterns, you see he 2 games in a row disrespected Basti. Wait,
it's Thunder. It's Thunder. Yeah. Also,
that's not Thunderbolt. That's Thunder.
This is gonna do. Gets shielded.
Buddy shield. Open team sheets means that wasn't a surprise. His opponent obviously knew that was a possibility. I still kind of want to see how much a Thunder would do to a Lickitung there, though.
Yeah, for purely scientific reasons, I also want to know. But yeah,
these licks are doing so much damage to the Zapdos. It's basically Dragon Breath in this matchup here. That is so much damage being taken by Licky or by Zapdos already.
Oh, we get to see it. We get to see it.
Oh,
that is some damage right there. Okay. Okay. What's up, Sarah Large? How's it going? But yeah, chat, if I mess up my words, it's because I went to bed at 4:30 a.m. because I was hunting shadows. So if I mess up my words, that is why. Oh, just gets the body slam.
Yeah, I was watching this tournament up until about 6 a.m. my time last night, so I my sleep schedule is not anywhere near where it should be right now.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. But that is.
Oh,
Oh,
the Reggie.
I'm very surprised he
Okay,
didn't bring in the
bold.
Mantine because I don't think Mantine was in slash range, and Mantine
I
has
wondered
so
what he was.
much energy.
He might have been predicting the Meganium in the back. I guess he wanted to keep his Mantine,
Oh,
but
that makes sense. That makes sense.
even still, he's in such a good spot here. There's no way a Cresselia ever gets to a Reggie, even after taking that the cross chop there.
Yo, nice Dirk.
And
gets the debuff. Yeah. I mean, it was already pretty doomed, but writing is absolutely on the wall in this one after that debuff. There's just nothing you could do. Like, this Grassnod about to be pathetic. Oh, that's nothing.
That is.
Oh, that hurts.
I'm gonna be honest. Hawkeye played this very well with his really cool team.
Yeah.
Just a bit of an unfortunate alignment here. Games 1 and 3. Game 2, though, I loved his play with his Meganium. Being able to farm down that Whiscash to leverage all of that energy into Wellness was just honestly such a heads-up play.
Yeah, that was beautifully played there. And I'm a big fan of the more like anti-meta stuff, so I'm definitely a fan of seeing it like in that game number 2, as you mentioned, like piloted so well. And I mean, Welton knows he does not have to shield anything, man. He is so fine. Gets the zap catch. Gets the zap catch
right now.
I love the pop off.
I don't think it's gonna matter. Mantine has like so much energy, but you know, if you're in this position, you might as well make as flashy of a play as possible.
Exactly. Yeah, he has double ace, so that's over.
You know, I'm not a fan of Basti, but I'm a fan of Hawkeye. He played this team so well. And aside from that, the Basti, his team is so creative and interesting.
Yeah,
here.
it's so cool.
He does well.
Yeah, I hope that he's able to make a beastly losers bracket run, because this team is extremely saucy. Yo, what's up, Il Bicello? Welcome in. And for a Welton right here, that's got to be a sigh of relief, because you were almost unsafe from that Zapdos, man. That Zapdos was looking ferocious.
You see a team like that, right? And you think, oh, it's Spice. It might be an easier matchup. And then you see just one of the Spice picks that just kind of destroys you, like that Zapdos. And then your heart just sinks in that moment. But he was able to overcome what looked like a terrible matchup, honestly, with that Shadow Zapdos. He was able to either align his Pokemon properly or save shields to be able to take it down. So.
And it looks like we do have our next matchup here. It's Arceus Aurelius versus Stepis 5. Stepis with the Skarmory. Ooh, Annihilate sighting. Shadow Dragonite, which I don't feel like we've seen a lot of as of late. The Charjabug, the Licky, and the Cash. And for Arceus Aurelius, Double Water. So Whiscash, Azu, Abomasnow, Reggie, Talon, and Cresselia.
I am kind of surprised to see a Shadow Dragonite, if I'm being honest. We haven't seen that too often. I think Wadaj did end up winning the very first regional of the season using Shadow Dragonite, but that was in a different meta. Now we have Skarmories everywhere. We have, well, I guess Ice types honestly aren't that common, but we see on Arceus Aurelius' team, he has the Abomasnow, he has the Azumarill as well. So honestly, the Dragonite might not be seeing as much play as Stepis might be hoping for.
Yeah, that Abomasnow, it is non-shadow, which makes me think that it could be Icy Wind, because I know a lot of the EU players were very excited about Icy Wind Obama, and Icy Wind Obama does win all evens versus Lickitung, which is a very interesting neutral matchup get. And then on top of that, I believe Icy Wind Obama also has plays in like, I can't remember if it's the 1s or the 2s that it flips versus Charja, but it is looking to be a pretty big threat here, where mainly only the Annihilate, the Skarmory, and then maybe the Charge Up Energy can really threaten it.
Yeah, I used the Icy Wind Abomasnow a decent amount in GBL actually.
Okay.
And that Lickitung matchup is nowhere near as confident for the Licky as you'd think it would be in a normal situation, because those debuffs, they start adding up pretty quickly. So if you don't RPS this Abomasnow with like a Skarmory or an Annihilate, it is in such a good spot. And the Abomasnow Talonflame core, I'm just kind of looking at it. I think that kind of core could be pretty cool, because the Annihilate and the Skarmory, the two things that beat the Abomasnow, end up losing to Talonflame.
Nice. And hey, that's a core that's possible, because unlike last game, there's no Bastion on.
No, that's no Shadow Zapdos either, right?
True. Yeah, because Zapdos would have a massive pacing advantage over Icy Wind Obama, because you are trading a little bit in terms of pacing.
Ton of damage too.
Oh yeah,
let's see.
I was running some Annihilate Shadow Zapdos core, and yeah, the Incinerates on Zapdos is rough.
Yeah, I'm sure does Zapdos even win the twos? I guess you outpace with the Drill Pecks pretty confidently, but
I don't think that I ever fully played out the twos, but I imagine it's very uncomfortable. Okay, Spinoid says Obama still loses all evens for Charger, but it's real close. Okay, got you. Thank you. All right, game number 1, Obama into Licky, and we are going to see very quickly here, based on how quickly the energy ball fills up, if it's going to be Icy Wind, and it is the Icy Wind. Yes. So, and Arceus Aurelius knows that in this matchup, just straight Icy, all even. So it doesn't matter when, like, and then you never have to shield unless your opponent shields. So he's going to aggressively switch into the Annihilate, but he didn't bring the Azu. He's forced to send in Cash, and this is not a fun spot to be in as the Cash whatsoever.
I'm a little confused by that swap on Stepis' side, because you have a Whiscash in the back that would want to see that Abomasnow even less than a debuff.
Yeah.
And we see the debuff come through here as well. This makes it really uncomfortable for the Annihilate. And he goes for the bait. I don't think Arceus Aurelius is even forced to shield here. He live a Shadow Ball.
I don't love the bait, because even with the debuff, Annihilate wins ones versus Cash, is my understanding, going straight Shadow Ball. So yeah. I don't love the bait there, but it is, again, just a newer Mon, so people are not going to be very comfortable on the matchups. He can go for the Ice Punch. He doesn't have...
I don't think this knocks out.
I was going to say, if he lives this on 1, he doesn't have another move, and Arce... Oh, he lived it! He gets the Mud Bomb! Oh, no!
Is he going to lose 2 shield or switch and shield advantage?
He's going down 2 shields. He's going down 2 shields. But he's debuffed, so he just brings in the Talon now. No. He doesn't get new mechanic, and it's just... It's done. It's done.
This is over. I don't like to call games this early, but 2 shield on Talon.
Oh, Shadow Cash sighting, though.
Oh, it doesn't even show Shadow on the graphic there. I didn't realize Shadow Cash. Okay, I like Stepis. He's my guy now. Well, we see the Body Slams coming through now. It gets a shield. I mean, the thing is, I think this Talonflame, as long as you save 1 shield for it, if it gets to 2 flies, it can take out that Shadow Cash pretty easily.
Yeah.
Shadow Cash is good, but when you're down 2 shields, I don't recommend that.
It gets very tough. At some point later in the stream, if someone in chat can remind me, I actually have a pretty high rank Shadow Cash that I have not built, so I will screen mirror and then I will actually build it on stream, because we have the Shadow Cash master himself over here, so I will actually build it. It is defrustrated. I can actually build the thing now, because
that's awesome. I think a lot of people just didn't have access to it, honestly.
Yeah, because it dropped during the Rocket event, but like if you didn't immediately find a good one during those like 3 days, then it has been a while. But yeah, chat, this is a very good reminder. You can TM away frustration. Search @frustration, and then you can use charge TMs to TM it away.
That's a good tip right there. You should listen to this guy. He's kind of good.
Good at yapping. I'll save the battling part of it to skilled battlers like yourself. I'm just good at yapping. That's all I do.
Well, here we see the Talonflame does actually take out the Whiscash here at the end of the game. Arceus does take game number 1 for himself here. It was an interesting game number 1, if I'm being honest. A few interesting plays, honestly. Not coming the Talonflame into the Annihilate save swap was honestly kind of a heads-up play by Arceus Aurelius, knowing he could probably sweep in the endgame with it. But also, Stepis just swapping out of Licky into Abomasnow. It really made his Whiscash in the back a lot more useless than I think he would have liked.
Yeah, it was, and like typically in that situation, I don't mind switching out to make the energy more useful, but with how weak he was to the Abomasnow, it almost feels like he was forced to stay in, and by switching out, then Abomasnow was just way too free in the back, unfortunately. Whereas I mean, we did see a different ice type in Charlotte Dugong putting quite a bit of work, but now we're seeing the Abomasnow, and it's so far been a nuisance for Stepis to get rid of.
Yeah, Abomasnow not actually in the top usage, like the top 12 mons. but I'll give you as a little spoiler alert. I did watch a few of these matches like past this. Abomasnow is actually showing up on a lot of the teams that are succeeding here.
Nice.
Abomasnow, I think, is one of the new picks that people have kind of adjusted to as a solid Whiscash answer, and a grass type that can have play into most of the flyers. It makes a lot of sense as a nice core breaker in this meta.
And a lot of people love that Cash Licky core because it's just so incredibly neutral. And if you choose to run Licky over something like a Vigoroth, Licky at least still has better play into the Annihilate than something like the Vigoroth. And that's something that I can shut down really nicely. Okay!
Oh, wow.
Shadow Dragonite into the Cash.
This is so rough for Arceus Realize. That's a Future Sight Cresselia as well.
Oh,
but we don't see in that matchup. We actually have the Charge Bug to hard answer this Cresselia. And I think since it is Future Sight, the zeros aren't actually as good for the Cresselia as if it were a Moonblast Cresselia.
Oh, interesting. That is...
Then again, that Shadow Dragon Breath damage probably makes it so you get knocked out to 2 X's anyway.
Shadow Dragon Breath cures a lot of woes, that's for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, this Dragonite is pretty much good into the whole team. You outpace the Cresselia, you just wall the Whiscash, and you use superpower for Registeel. That is into an Azumarill and an Abomasnow team. When they just let Abomasnow leading Shadow Dragonite is such a bold, but such a good prediction too.
I like it, yeah.
It was...
And
I don't know if I would have done that, but he made the call.
He calls that it's just the Grass Knot as well. That's beautiful. And now Arceus is in the position that he put Stepis in game 1, where he's forced to go down both shields for switch, and the Dragonite just destroys him.
That is so bad. He probably only has to shield once with his Dragonite here to get the full farm done. And if anything, there's just gonna be a Grass Knot coming through to this Dragonite.
Yeah, and he might make another Grass Knot, but Grass Knot is actually a move Shadow Dragonite can't survive, but he should know at this point that this is over. He doesn't get it!
Doesn't even get it.
Wrap it up! Wrap it up!
He comes in cash. What do you do in this situation? Either you take a super effective superpower, or you just get walled. It's a lose-lose situation here. Honestly, I think he's as shocked as we are that this Dragonite's on the screen.
Yeah.
But it was such a good call.
And the catch onto the Annihilate too. Yeah, it's over. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. It's over. So here we go though. He chose to bench the Cash in this one. But the Ice Punch catch, nice.
Okay. The only problem with this, Registeel and Annihilate on even energy pace to their big charge move, the Zap Cannon and the Shadow Ball, at the exact same time. Focus Blast, unlike with say you were fighting a Vigoroth, that's not going to do anything to an Annihilate, whereas it would one-shot a Vigoroth. You need to go for the Zap Cannon here. Yeah. So you always get the Shadow Ball off, despite that great catch.
And Shadow Ball here doesn't pick up the knockout. It does not. But we're actually going to see him choose to not throw the charge attack, going to send in the Cash, but, he at this point just knows that even throwing that energy doesn't win him the game. So it's basically just him just saying, you know what? I'm going to mentally check out of this game. I'm just going to think about game number 3. Because I bet having a little bit of extra time to think about that and kind of make plans ahead of time can be a little nice. So sometimes we do see that, when they don't see a win con, they just won't click the shield or they won't click the move. Just so that way they can really think on what their strategy is going to be in the next one.
Yeah, sometimes there's no point in stalling out a losing matchup. You want to just get your mind into the next one, readjust, hopefully call the Dragonite next time. We'll see what Stepis does. I honestly think Dragonite probably gets benched after that one. It was just more of a check to Arceus. You're bringing your Whiscash. I know I didn't bring a hard answer to it last game. This time I'm bringing my best answer, and I'm going to hard read that it's in the lead, and that call won him game number 2.
That was very nice. If I'm Stepis in this situation, I would almost expect the Abomasnow to return. So potentially bringing out the Skarmory could be nice, but because Arceus did also bring the Cresselia, so he has run some stuff weak to the Skarmory, and I have to imagine the Abomasnow's coming back. So bringing that Skarm could potentially be a read, but then the question is. It is always but he knows that I know that he knows when it comes to thinking these teams where it's he thinks I'm going to adjust, so I'm not going to adjust. It'll be very interesting to see what they end up doing. And
yeah, I mean, game number 3 here, it's the decisive game 3. Winner of this moves on in the winner's side, which is a huge advantage. Loser, not out yet. The loser's bracket, though, as someone who's been in it myself, it is a rough situation to be in. You have to play basically twice as many matches to get to the end of the tournament as someone in the winner's side. So this game 3 here is going to be very important for these two trainers.
Agreed. And welcome in, Dancel. The Shadow Kyogre research is part of the Timeless Travels research. So it is like once you get to stage 9 of Timeless Travels, then that's where the Kyogre research is. All right, game number 3. Annihilate into the Azumarill, and we do see, oh my. But the save switch Charjabug is kind of...
But Charjabug's so safe here.
Yeah, it is like... He bench the Whiscash, and now this is potentially like... Stepbase has to try and make a play for switch advantage, because Abomasnow is going to absolutely shred that cash in the back. Granted, he doesn't know Obama's back there, but after bringing the Dragonite, we have to imagine that it is around. It is definitely lurking. So... He is going to no-shield the first.
My question is, once this Charjabug's gone, how do you take out that Azu in the back, though?
That'll also be tough, yeah. I guess just debuff with the cash and hope.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Cash does have a better matchup into Azu than regular Whiscash.
Can it make the discharge here? Is it charge attack priority? Oh, he gets to the Focus Blast.
No, just barely.
He lets it go.
He doesn't go for switch.
Does this knockout?
Wow.
It doesn't. So he can force a shield or switch. Oh, Arceus going for switch. I mean,
I think Stepis is confident in Annihilate up shields.
Yeah. I almost would have liked to see saving the Charjabug there and aggressively switch the Annihilate and just get those counters. Because you could save the Charger for a catch, and like the Reggie isn't making a move anyway, but that way you would at least have a catch potential, whereas now you're in this matchup, and at this point he doesn't know it yet, but the moment he switches out, he loses this game.
I'll be honest, it might look kind of bad, but depending on how Arceus Aurelius plays this Abomasnow into Whiscash matchup, it could be a little tricky for him. He's celebrating now.
Oh, okay.
He probably knows if you just go straight Energy Ball, it's probably the way to go here. Either force all of the shields down, or just get the one shot, right? We'll see what he goes with here. If he baits like an Icy Wind, that might be a bit of a misstep, because these Scalds add... Oh, he doesn't even bait. He just goes straight for it. I think you need to throw 2 moves if you do this.
Interesting. And Arceus, we saw running a very atypical Azu moveset. He has Play Rough Hydro, which means his pacing, like he has a Hydro banked, but he can't just rely on the straight 5 pacing of Ice Beam. Like he'll have to go for the 6-5-6.
I'm being honest. He's in actually kind of a tricky position now because he's not going to get much advantage from this. Oh, he
could have Mud Bombed. Yeah. And then he's just going to no shield, and then if 2 counters KO, I think he's 2 off the Icy Wind, and Azu can't leave yet. Oh, he gets there! And then you just always have to no shield. Yep, you always have to no shield.
Yeah. And it's going to be a fast move down game for Arceus here. I don't think Azu's ever getting to 3 moves here. You just kind of have to go for fast move down because this is Annihilate.
Oh, he throws.
Get to 2 moves before you get to 3.
Interesting.
Okay. He's unsure. He's unsure.
Yeah. Here. I don't think Ball is going to knock out.
I think with the counters it could. It's not going to knock out like anytime soon. It probably does about like 25 to 30% with that debuff, in my opinion. Right now, I'd probably put it deep red.
A rare alignment throw from Arceus Aurelius there.
Yeah, that sneak might matter.
Yeah, he always just has to call this basically, and then just hope that he can survive.
Your only hope at this point. He calls it.
Nope, he loses. He gets countered down.
That gets countered down.
Annihilate, man.
It would have made it a lot closer. Yeah, I think Annihilate. It's so hard to wall that thing. Azu is supposed to be one of the best answers to Annihilate, but we just saw a debuffed Annihilate flip that matchup.
Annihilate was crazy. Like, there were, like...
I didn't believe in it at the start, like when it first was released, because it's not that bulky. I'm used to, like, Medicham, Poliwrath, kind of bulkier fighters. Annihilate's not bulky, but it has that coverage that makes it so it's honestly more like a sweeper than it is just like a bulky counter user.
I think...
dude, Arceus is feeling it there.
Yeah. I think if he just, as you had identified, just goes for fast moves there, he wins that game. Because he threw on alignment, And he obviously gave 1 free turn as well. And
he gave like 4 free turns over by throwing 2 moves as well, because he 1 from the first play rough, 3 from the second because of the less optimal timing.
Bit of a friend here. Jox, another Obama. No, this one is Shadow though, which is interesting. So Talon, Azu, Shadow Obama, Reggie, Cash, and Cress. And for Giappi, which I'm probably horribly mispronouncing, I apologize, Giappi, if you're watching this back afterwards. But Altaria, Reggie, a very tiny Shadow Gligar, Lantern, Licky, and another Annihilate.
I wonder if Shadow Abomasnow ever runs Icy Wind. In my opinion, Shadow should run Weather Ball, non-Shadow should run Icy Wind.
Okay.
But, you know, maybe Jox is onto something that we aren't. I personally don't have a Great League Shadow Abomasnow, so I don't know from experience. That's just kind of my intuition saying that.
Okay.
So we'll have to see what the Shadow Abomasnow expert in Jox can say about that, if he even brings it here. It's honestly, it's a pretty good Pokemon, because you see it's good against Gligar, Altaria, and Lantern. It just destroys all 3 of those, and play into Licky as well. It's just the Annihilate and the Reggie it wouldn't really want to see.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Let me adjust this slightly so you guys are able to see the teams as well.
Oh yeah, I'm blocking them a bit.
Oh no, I had accidentally put it too low so they couldn't see the teams. There we go.
Oh, okay.
And then someone in chat named That One Guy brings up a really good point, saying that Arceus thought that he only had 1 shield, and apparently when the second shield happened, he was like shocked, and so that's why he threw on alignment. Was he thought he had the game-winning move, but he forgot that he had 2 shields. But yeah, that makes quite a bit of sense, and that also explains why. Why he was sitting there just head in hands, because he just. I mean, I've 100% done that while live before. Just forgetting my opponent has a shield.
When you're on stream, it's just a different beast entirely.
Yeah,
so,
that it is.
It's a little rough for him, but I mean, he's a great battler. I'm sure he's going to have a decent run in the lower bracket.
Agreed.
Saying this tournament has already concluded day 1, I know that he actually did have a pretty good lower bracket run.
Oh, so, awesome.
I don't know if we ever see him on stream again. I don't know which matches get streamed here in Europe. But this one here is looking like a really cool match to see. I think the casters were saying last night, Giappi is actually a former VGC regional champion.
Oh, that is so cool. I love seeing people who are able to make that crossover. That's awesome. Yeah. Because we obviously saw Matt, who kind of just played Go a little bit on a whim and now plays so much Go. Like it is awesome to see people like seeing the value and the different strategies of Go, whereas there is just everything happens so instantaneously that it can be. I don't know if I've ever experienced like a rush when gaming quite like when you know you need to make a catch and you overfarm and you get that prediction perfect. It's just unreal. It's unreal.
When you get the they know, you know, they know all correct, it is honestly just one of the best.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And then we get in the patented accent fist pump there when you get it right. Oh, it's beautiful. All right, so we have the teams up here a lot larger, which is nice. Lantern is an interesting pick because, I mean, granted, there are the flyers out there. Like there's, I mean, a lot of Skarmory. There's Azu cropping up more as well. But with Cash feeling almost omnipresent, it feels like Lantern is a bit of a risky bring because it's so good into a lot, but against Cash, it just feels so helpless.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a fan of Lantern in the past. Especially into this team, it'd be really hard to bring. It'd be basically you're RPSing a Talonflame or a Azumarill.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I think a lot of the reason to bring Lantern over Charjabug, well, I guess there's 2 reasons. One is the Gligar matchup. Gligar is pretty common. Obviously, Lantern generally still does have a negative matchup there, but it has a lot more play. And then also the fire types. We see a Talonflame on this team. Charjabug would have kind of an awkward matchup if you had that. And Skeledirge specifically is much better for Lantern than it is for Charjabug. But with Whiscash being one of the most common Pokemon, Cresselia, Licky being out there as well to just already be countering the Whiscash, Lantern kind of just takes those the hits that Whiscash is kind of bringing, because Whiscash is the water type that people are countering, and if you bring a different water type aside from that, it's going to be kind of rough to use.
That makes sense. All right, looks like they're taking a little bit of time getting locked in here. Good news is this is stall free, so we can just fast forward. Oh, we got lock-ins. Game number 1, Talon into Licky. I believe this is very favorable for Talon because you can typically just flame charge and then you have like, then you're on a 2 cycle for fly for like 3 flies in a row, right? Or something like that. 2 or 3.
The timing was okay. So in the zeros, it's actually dependent on if the Licky times perfectly.
Oh.
You only did 13 licks instead of 14. So this Talon gets to 2 moves before the Licky gets to 2 moves. So it's much worse for the Licky right now.
Ooh,
you
that
can
is.
get 2 body slams before 2 flies otherwise.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see here if Gioppi wants to try to shield this because his backline isn't even that good into this Talonflame.
Yeah.
Although looking at the backline, that Annihilate could pop off here.
It absolutely could, yes. He is going to no shield the fly. The fly connects. That's going to be good by Lickitung. He can send in the Gligar, but if he does, Jox can't pivot because he has the Reggie in the back. He's forced to stay in. He does. He sends in a Reggie. And, I mean, you just stay in here as the Gligar. What?
This kind of gives an opening over to Gioppi here because you were probably going to take a fly from this Talonflame if you didn't swap out.
Yeah.
But now this Gligar is going to be able to get a ton of use throwing these digs. Probably no shielding moves, getting a lot of damage on this Registeel for free. And then maybe the Annihilate can sweep.
I mean, he is definitely trying to bait out a counter user, and like, there is one in the back, but making the pivot that he made is really, really tough. Because, I mean, Gligar has a massive pacing advantage here. It's like 7 and then, I believe, 6 a bunch of times, whereas Reggie is consistently the 16 turns. So you're just getting dramatically outpaced. Even with debuffs, this is so awkward as the Gligar. If he wants to, yeah, he can just let this go and then just go for Annihilate farm and
counter this down.
Yep,
and then you just
he's undercharging, so you just switch, you counter down, and then Annihilate's energy is too good here, and this game is over.
As much as I like the idea behind that undercharge there, knowing that the switch clock was up and that your opponent would be able to swap, that just gives a potential sack swap over to your opponent. So I think in that situation, just going for the full charge would probably be the better play.
Yeah, like, and
you get a full farm down here.
That looked a little odd.
Yeah, 4 counters for 1 Incinerate.
Yeah. So
he knocks out in 2 counters anyway. It probably doesn't matter because you would get that third one.
The third one knocks out, yeah. But that definitely looked a little bit odd.
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, Kaiser? Yeah, Kaiser is a frequenter of my chat as well as your chat on Twitch. So he is.
How's it going, Kaiser?
He is loving the collaboration for sure.
My chat's always asking when's the Home Slice Henry collab coming. It's right now.
Hey, there we go. Right now. And yeah, Annihilate, to me, it feels a lit like its coverage is so good that I feel almost shades of Skeledirge in that it's really hard to make its energy useless. So if you're able to put it in that situation where it gets energy, almost nothing wants to go into it. Like even something like Azumarill, we saw Annihilate up shields and energy can put in work against something that should be its hardest counter.
Yeah, I mean, even when it was debuffed, it was able to take out the Azu there. I think when Annihilate first released, I kind of didn't look at it the way that I needed to. I kind of saw it more just as a counter user. I think the way Gioppi's playing it is honestly more correct, where you kind of just save shields for it, you get shield advantage, and then you try to sweep with it. It's so hard to sweep, or to stop its sweep, when, like, Ice Punch beats the Flyers, Shadow Ball beats the Psychics, and Counter beats anything else. So, yeah, it's a very impressive Pokemon if you're not, like, just hard RPSing it.
Yeah. And something that I like to see is, I feel like with seeing this style of play from Gioppi, it feels like what's happened is someone who has had a week to practice with this Pokemon, instead of at Charlotte, it was like 48 hours where people are getting more comfortable with it, understanding what it can and can't do, and continuing to see how it evolves in the meta is something that I am very excited for. Looks like we do have lock-ins. Annihilate on the lead into the Whiscash. So this is one that I did actually look up because I've been trying a lot of Annihilate. You do win the one straight Shadow Ball. What move you shield doesn't matter, but shielding the first is often nice because you do typically want to shield the harder hitting move, which is the Scald.
Backline's looking a little bit rough for that Azumarill here. The Licky and the Lantern are both very strong answers for it.
And no
with that
debuff.
said, Reggie could be pretty good in the back too for Jox.
That it
Oh,
could.
nice CMP here.
Nice CMP. I mean, Shadow Ball should, I believe, knock out here because Annihilate is very, very strong. We will see the shield from Jox firing off the Mud Bomb. If Joppy wants, he can win the ones here, and getting rid of this is a priority to free up the Lantern. So I do like the shield, and I believe it should just be charge attack priority to the next. He opts for an Ice Punch. This doesn't KO.
Okay.
I think he just miscounted here, but this doesn't knock out.
Yeah, it's either a miscount or he just wanted the move to land to guarantee the damage. But I'm leaning towards a miscount here. Because,
yeah.
I mean, why not just at least bait the Shadow Ball, right? He opts to shield as well.
Because the unfortunate thing is when Azu gets brought in here, yeah, he will have to pivot. In comes the Reggie, but this puts Lantern
favorable for Joppy. It's looking a little.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. It depends on how Jox plays this.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the pendulum of opportunity is swinging back for Jox now because of that misplay to not CMP with the Shadow Ball. But again, that's what happens when it's a newer mon, is people aren't as familiar with the matchups. You need 2 moves to KO, so you always go for a Zap here. The Zap connects onto the Lickitung, does get the debuff. I know in previous seasons, some people were running, I believe there was a breakpoint Licky to help versus Reggie. With Reggie being less common, are people still running Lickies like that, or have they adjusted to more bulk-oriented?
I'll be honest, I think anyone running a Licky like that was mainly because that was the only Licky they had.
Okay.
It's a little cheaper to build a Licky that was, you know, a little more attack-weighted.
That's fair, that's fair.
It looks like Gioppi did not get the Lick breakpoint either way. And another bad thing about, like, if you specifically are trying to run that spread, if they get a Zap debuff, it doesn't matter either way.
Okay.
So it would just be like you get 12.
What an undercharge there.
Yeah, the undercharge gets the farm down. Annihilate comes in. Okay, but you get the Lantern into Azu. This should be able to leverage enough energy into that Reggie that Gioppi should have game number 2.
And he does have an Ice Punch Bang, which means he's 2 off the ball. The Ape is very tough to see on the screen if Ape is going to have enough to make it to a ball versus the Reggie, because that would definitely shore it up, because Lantern is looking very, very strong here, but it would definitely shore it up if you could make it to a ball. Calls the bait, as he should. The bolt connects, but now he just gets a very nice spark down, and he should just make double surf into the Reggie. And double surf plus a couple sparks plus the Ice Punch, even if you don't make the ball, should just be game defining.
Yeah, one thing that's really bad about Reggie is a target that is at red health.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It's the same as if it were like 50% health here, because it needs to throw a Zap Cannon or a Focus Blast to be able to knock this thing out. Lock-ons are not going to do it here. And so who gets the move first?
Ooh, charge attack priority! Wow. Oh, man! And then
I don't think this knocks out, but you have that Ice Punch still loaded.
The Ice Punch stored, so Gioppi will be able to take this. And unless it's like one lock-on range.
Yeah, it can get locked on down.
It'll be close.
I think Annihilate has a little more than 1 HP.
And he does! Barely! Not by much!
Okay, Annihilate is just barely able to take out the game. Just showing once again how dominant it can be if you invest shields into it.
Yeah, and then just being able to leverage that advantage throughout the game. It's very good with shields at forcing switch, even with a slight misplay in that initial matchup, just not knowing when catches on the 5 versus the 4 cycle there. But that was very nicely done. And speaking of your point with Reggie, because we obviously have a wide variety of like experience in the chat when it comes to Go Battle League. Something for people who are learning counting that I was told, which is amazing, is Reggie Steal anytime it throws a move, because at this point it's always running Focus Blast Zap Cannon. You always have to expend a 75 energy move, and Lock On is 5 energy per turn. So every time Reggie throws a move, you have a guaranteed 10 turns that you can farm up, even if you lost count, which can be very helpful because lock-ons is probably the easiest move to lose count on, because you're like, oh man, all these individuals. But that is something that has genuinely won me a lot of games, and something that, since you brought up that very good point, is because Reggie has no fast move pressure. It has to throw 75 energy every time it throws a move, it doesn't have a bait move. So knowing that, especially if you win charge attack priority, that you can farm up to 10 turns, which is like, if you're a Swampert, 5 mud shots. If you're a Virizion, 3 double kicks, and know that you're always safe to farm up that much is really, really nice. And then it can help with beginning to optimize like a lot of these top players like ITSAXN do, where, I mean, their counting is unreal. Like, you will see them do perfect over farms, but that's how you can start beginning those steps towards like the level of mastery that a lot of these top players have, is just knowing specific helpful tips for mons like that. Ooh, this would be a good one.
Another one that's kind of like that is Bastiodon. If it ever throws a move, it always needs 2 more smackdowns at the very least to get to another one. So if it gets like a full farm down on like an Altaria or a Skarmory, it always needs 2 more smackdowns after their first charge attack to throw their next Stone Edge or Flamethrower.
That is a good one, because especially with the Go Battle Week, we saw a lot of Bastiodons, didn't we? All right, and then we have X Boston with a 10 bomb, much appreciated, homie, saying ITSAXN, your knowledge of matchups and win cons is astonishing. It genuinely is. It genuinely is. He is absolutely cracked at this game. And then our next matchup, we have Andres, who has performed amazingly well. I believe was a runner-up at, was it EUIC or was it Torino? One of those.
I think it was a regional. It was a regional.
Torino. Okay, Torino. Okay. Running the double normal strat with Lickitung and Vigoroth, pairing it up with a Shadow Gligar, Charjabug, then double water of Whiscash and Azu, and then J-Rose running Lickitung, Azu, another Annihilate. We're seeing a lot of Annihilate. Umbreon, Shadow Gligar, and the Charjabug. So that's definitely something.
Umbreon too much anymore.
We really don't. Yeah.
It's a good Lickitung answer. It has more play into Charjabug than you'd think. But with that said, like, I don't know if it's going to be able to come here with Charjabug, Azu, and Vigoroth all being very hard answers.
Yeah.
To that Umbreon.
And I believe with Charja as well, like if you have, and I can't remember exactly, but there is some kind of Charja tech that shores up the Umbreon zeros. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something that I hear a lot of whispers of people who play this game competitively talking about cool stuff, and then I remember half of it, and then I try and parrot it back, and I'm like, someone who's far smarter than me found some cool tech there. Okay, and now we have the teams on a bit bigger of a screen, which is nice. But yeah, the Vigoroth, I mean, if we take a look at, like, it has really nice play into 5 of the 6, but it's so rough knowing there's that Annihilate, because it feels like getting the Vigoroth on Annihilate switch locked is just completely game ending because of how dominant that is of Annihilate just getting the counter down and leaving with like 100 energy.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen like all of these things on the team that can counter Annihilate, right? We see Azu, we see Gligar, Charjabug. I mean, sure, they aren't great for Annihilate, but they're not going to make it so you're not going to run Annihilate. You can definitely still run into this team.
Mm-hmm.
So Vigoroth, while normally a very safe pick, I believe, is this like the same team as Abanov and Lyle Jeffs? Because
it could be, yeah.
I think this is the same team that they were using here.
Of matchups and win cons is astonishing.
It's good into Vigoroth to use Annihilate, and then the rest of the team, like if you ever get that matchup, all of that energy that the Annihilate would be able to farm up would basically just be game over for your opponent if you can farm down a Vigoroth like that here.
Yeah, that and we saw that piloted so well by Joppy in that matchup, who, as you mentioned, is a previous VGC champion, now taking his talents to go, which is awesome to see. But oh man, it is like, this will be tough. This
matchup is going to be really interesting. A lot of the same mons, but then you see the Whiscash, I guess, swapped out for the Umbreon, and the Vigoroth swapped out for the Annihilate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Umbreon is going to have much play here, but the Annihilate could kind of be like the make or break in this somewhat mirror match to really give J-Rose an advantage. With that said, we can see a lot of play on both sides here. Like the Whiscash specifically doesn't have a hard answer.
Yeah.
I don't really consider Lickitung a hard wall to Whiscash, because if he starts shooting Power Whips, that can get pretty uncomfortable for it.
We've seen that in the competitive circuit. A lot of very sad lick and tugs there.
Yeah. If you don't have that hard wall with like a grass type or an Altaria, Whiscash can kind of just go crazy. But Whiscash actually does not come out on our screen here. We see the Azumarill mirror match, a very, very fun mirror. We'll be here for a minute.
And we have mirrored Lickies in the back, but the Mon they have different. The Charjabug for J-Rose and the Gligar for Andres. So Andres preparing for potentially losing the lead to a Charjabug. And then having that Gligar in the back, but now this is looking really, really awkward in this matchup. Yo, Memi's here too. Hello. Also, Priyanchi says, I was randomly doing my Rocket Raider, got a 13, 14, 15 Shadow Kyogre. Honestly, I'm a big believer of, if you're wanting to build it for Masters, purify it, because water raid attackers will always come and go, and there will always be like things that get new moves and are the new best water raid attacker, but like Kyogre has been really good in Masters for like 3 years now. So I like, if you're wanting to build the Kyogre, it'll be cheaper because it's purified. Personally, I would purify it. Some might disagree, but I am a PvP focused person. And it looks like we have a difference in, we see the catch onto the Licky.
Nice catch.
But a difference in the Azu IVs, whereas one Azu was in the red while the other was still in the yellow.
I don't know if we actually saw them throw on CMP, but I think that implies J-Rose probably would win it because his Azu was a little less bulky. But we are seeing yet another mirror match. Fortunately, I think that this is actually favorable for the Gligar in the back. We see that it's probably just going to be able to close out this game pretty well. And she did actually bank that play rough as well. So even though we're in a very long-winded mirror matchup after already being in the Azu mirror, I think this endgame is going to go by very fast with that Gligar being able to sweep the endgame.
Yes. J-Rose kind of desperately needs a timeout, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it. Like, it definitely felt like Charlotte was the tournament of timeouts for sure, where we had one set where all 3 games went to timer. But
you have an Umbreon mirror here. That would be the cherry on top.
Umbreon into Gligar, maybe we could have seen a timeout, but yeah, Charger just can't do any damage there.
Yeah, it can spam moves pretty quickly, but it's not going to be able to put out enough damage to actually get through the Gligar. And the Azu, as I said, it still has that play rough. It's going to be able to potentially snipe Pokemon at the endgame, or maybe do a combo play. We'll have to see how this endgame shapes up. Looks like he does go down, though.
And it looks like Andres did win Charge Attack priority, which is nice.
That's actually very good to know in future matchups here.
Yeah. Sending in the Azu.
Oh, she knows how much she can overfarm here. That's beautiful.
That's so nice. Yeah. She is and then here you could honestly try and combo with your own Azu, because you have a move, or just Charge Attack priority. That's filthy.
That works too.
That's filthy.
There's so many good plays you could do there. Honestly, this one puts your opponent in such a bad position.
That's so good. Yeah.
And you take it out at the same time. Oh, but you have to shield this now. Okay.
Yeah. Like,
but, I mean,
the Gligar has taken a lot of damage, though.
It's probably still going to need 2 X-Scissors to be knocked out.
And Azu has a move, too, so Andres should definitely still be okay.
Alright, going for the Aerial Ace makes sense. You need 3 moves to knock this thing out. 1 to take the shield, 2 to take out the Charjabug itself. So it makes sense just to go for Aerial Ace here. And it actually does draw the shield, even though it's probably one of the least damaging moves left in the game.
Yeah. And the question is, because she shouldn't be able to make a dig here. He no longer has a catch, and then dig into a play rough should just be game over here. And he isn't at a move.
Combo play is about to happen here.
Yep.
We see that the dig does do a ton of damage. Combo play happens. And
very clean game by her.
Very precise gameplay. Counting is on point. Catching is on point. Combo plays are on point for her. So I think she has this in the bag here if she can continue that domination in the game too. She
is always I love watching really technically precise gameplay, and that's where we saw it there, especially with the building up to the 2 moves, Charge Attack priority over the Azu, the combo play there, just like it almost felt like surgical there, just getting that win, just left.
She was in control the whole time.
Yep. Left J-Rose 0 margin for error. And Devi says, ITSAXN, yes, he is in the house over here on YouTube.
Hello.
Denzel says, do you have to finish Timeless Travels by February 1st for Kyogre? The season doesn't change until March. So you should have, I would imagine you still have until March to do that, right? Because it's a season-based research. So it should be through like the end of February to March 1st. Oh yeah, it was the Torino one where she finished second.
Good to see the pop up there. Hopefully she's adding or planning on adding another title to her resume at this tournament. Not the best lead, if I'm gonna be honest, but her backline. Oh, it's the same team. Like they're both using the same team, just in a different order here.
Ooh, tries for the catch again.
Alright, yeah, Licky is really safe as a safe swap into this, but the trip and dip is a very common strategy that people use to take out Licky, where you do damage with one Pokemon, then you swap into the mirror to be able to absorb the body slams there. It looks like J-Rose is actually... Oh no!
Ooh,
stutter lag happened.
Yeah, she should have been able to get that in the middle, but it stuttered for a little bit, and then it allowed him to get the catch. That's unfortunate.
If this ends up costing her the game, I could see a dispute happening here.
Yeah.
But this game is by no means over. She has a lot of play still, because these mirror teams are... it opens up a lot of neutral play. It's really unfortunate to see that kind of error, though, happen in the game.
It is definitely tough to see for sure. And this is winter semis, so these trainers have both done very well to get to this point. There's obviously a very big health disparity here. I believe on Dreese's Lickitung, we were seeing Wynn's charge attack priority. She's choosing to let this go. This will be, like, if she lives it, it'll be on, like, 1 HP barely. Okay, barely hangs on there. Banks the whip. I actually like that.
Okay.
Banking the whip.
She's making something happen here.
Yeah,
Getting out of a weird situation she was in because of that lag. Combo planes, I don't think this quite knocks out. No, just barely not. But he get the wing attack down.
He doesn't get there, and he could have pivoted and potentially tried to get to a move versus a different mon. If she wants to, yeah, like Shadow Gligar, one of the reasons why it is so favored over the regular is just the damage output, even in these bad matchups. Like, even against Azu, we're going to see a Shadow Dig does a lot, and she's baiting with the Aerial Ace. This could threaten the shield from J-Rose. I mean, a Dig doesn't quite knock out here, but it does get the shield.
And we have that Power Whip banked still on the Lickitung. And the full health Azu in the back is going to be aligned to J-Rose's Gligar.
Yeah.
So even though this lead scenario is still playing out in favor of J-Rose, it's not going to be looking good for him in the back. If he shields this, the Power Whip is still available.
It's over.
I don't think you can shield this.
It's over. He has to let it go.
Shield.
He's looking to send in the Gligar, but it's the simultaneous switch. But he does.
Azu in the 0-1 can still win this.
Yeah. I don't think... Oh, and the bubble goes through! Oh, man.
That's so unfortunate for him, but I don't think it's going to matter, but the timing...
Yeah.
Any chance this game?
Yeah,
be as precise as possible.
Yeah, the 7 wing attacks plus the dig would have had to put the Azu into the yellow for it to be enough, but you can see there by how much... obviously, ITSAXN is a very different level than me battling, but... how we both physically cringed at the bubble going through. We play this game a lot, chat. I did want to add the caveat of like, I am nowhere close to the level of ITSAXN, but we both play the game enough where we both, without meaning to, physically recoiled at the bubble sneaking through.
I'm a bit of a timing snob, okay?
Same here, to be honest. Same here. I
think at this point, J-Rose, he probably just knew he was in a bad position there.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he was kind of feeling bad. Even though the weird lag did happen, making the Power Whip go into, the Lickitung instead of the Azu, we still get to see a Power Whip go into an Azu, but it's already basically knocked out now.
Beautifully played by Andres. Like,
able to come back from that terrible lead game too.
Yeah.
Honestly, even though it was a bad lead, it never seemed like she was in a bad spot.
Yeah.
She was always in control.
Choosing to make the play there to go down shields and understanding that Azu's energy was so valuable if you can get shields down was really, really nice. And here we have San Judigo. Oh, broadcast, please. San Judigo versus, I'm not even going to try. Lesway?
Oh, man.
Lesway? I'm just
word.
going to say Lesway and then just have angry French people in my chat. So we have Lesway with Guzzlord. We have Triple Water with Lantern, Whiscash, and Pelipper, and then Double Flyer with Shadow Gligar and Skarm.
Triple Flyer, right?
Oh, it is triple. Yeah, it is. It is Triple Water and
Flyer.
Triple Flyer. I stand corrected. You are absolutely
That's
right.
Wild.
And then San Judigo with Cress, Charja, Azu, Vigoroth, Altaria, and Skeledirge. All right. Memi says, let's say Dua. Let's say Dua. How am I doing? Let's say Dua.
Say Dua.
Let's say Dua. Okay. So San Judigo was top 8 in Leal. So let's say Dua. And top 4 in Leal.
Okay.
All right. So these two are probably familiar with each other. A bit unfortunate that they are colliding here in day number 1, but they both made it to winter semis, and that's what seeding gets you, is you can have a couple good players in a bracket.
Yeah, unfortunately with seeding, as long as it works well and you're fighting people who are seeded properly, in theory, it means your harder matchups will be later in the day.
Yeah.
It only makes sense at this point. In the winners semis, you'd start running into some of the more consistent battlers. And we can see that here. They both placed top cut at Leal in 2024. And I don't know if these trainers actually fought each other. Maybe it's a rematch, maybe not. But either way, they're both hungry to get top cut once again. And the Triple Water, Triple Flyer, Double Ground team, honestly, is like, I just keep looking at it here. It's so interesting.
It is.
A lot of duos, even with the like similar typings across a couple of these mons, like you can always pair Pelipper and Whiscash together. You can pair Skarmory and Gligar. You can pair like almost all of these Pokemon, even though they share typings, they actually core pretty well together.
And looking through it here, because Dracoviz is a very, very cool resource, is I was able to look up Leal, and these two did not play each other at Leal. So they are probably familiar from each other from they're both top cutting, but Dracoviz, just an unbelievable community resource there. Like, I was just able to search up San Judigo. Oh, what a lead for San Judigo. Charging bug into the Pelipper, one wing attack and switch into the Lantern, but he's core broken, and the Lantern is honestly not bad for this charge bug whatsoever.
Oh, okay. I was expecting a chip and dip there.
Same.
You might expect Cresselia to be a very hard answer to Lantern. That is not the case. Even up I believe one spark, if your Cresselia isn't actually a very high rank one, Lantern can flip the 2s.
Wow.
So giving Lantern this much energy might actually open up a door for Lesway, or for the guy on the right.
Yeah. Yeah, it is going to be really, really interesting here, because he was able to get some Volt Switch damage in, but that doesn't put it into farm down range. Psycho Cut does no damage. The Surf is going to connect, and Lantern...
he doesn't throw on CMP there, though.
Yeah, and Lantern, if it wants, can just shield and then just look to double up and just really try and force Switch here.
Switch, while helpful, because obviously you don't want the Pelipper to be locked into the Charger Bug.
Yeah.
It's not like you have a hard answer for that Vigoroth either, though.
Yeah.
Vigoroth could still put in work here, and that Charger Bug, it has so much energy. Even Gligar's not going to want to soak 2 or 3 X-Hitters. So I don't think San Judigo is out of it just yet.
Agreed.
We'll have to see how he decides to play this matchup out here.
I'm a bit surprised to see Charger here.
I know. I think with how safe your Vigoroth is, just looking at Lisway and his team, without a counter user, like that energy would have been huge to have on Vigoroth.
The one advantage that I can think of with playing it how San Judigo played it is by doing this, he now knows the whole team. Whereas if you bring in Vigoroth will be answered by the Pelipper, and you still don't know what's in the back. So this way it gives him slightly more information, even at the expense of energy that could have been potentially more valuable here. Going for the Shadow Dig, it doesn't knock out, but it does a lot of damage. Lets it go, and that does big damage onto the Vigoroth. In comes Pelipper, but there's already the Rock Slide ready for the Vigoroth. No baits here, just gonna full send it.
You almost kind of have to shield this, because if you don't, like, you're going to be shielding X-Scissors on your Gligar later. I kind of like the way that we're seeing this Charger Bug user play out this matchup, though. You baited the Pelipper back out, so you're able to farm down this Pelipper potentially, and get even more Exorcers to throw into that Gligar. You no-shield this because you kind of have to. But being honest, this matchup isn't as comfortable for Charger Bug as you might expect. Sure, you're doing a lot of damage, but you're going to be taking a lot of damage too. You might have to shield a move here. Oh, okay. This is definitely just a Weather Ball, but he decides to shield it anyway because he didn't want to take the risk of a Hurricane, I believe.
And he X-Scissors. If this doesn't knock out, yeah. I was going to say, I don't think it quite does, and then he can still do one wing attack in the move. Oh, the fundamentals there. The fundamentals there. Oh, that's just chef's kiss there. That is beautiful. That is beautiful there. And
this isn't going to knock out. You can just fast move down.
Yeah.
Well played, honestly, by Lissay here. Getting over the Charger Bug into Pelipper lead. Honestly, the Charger Bug into Pelipper and Lantern in the back. That is such a bad lead for you.
Yeah.
He was able to come back from it, though.
Really, really nicely done there. And okay. It showed 0-0 there, and I was like, wait. Yeah. But no. The win showed up. We're good. We're good. But yeah,
honestly, after that game 1, it just shows, like, Lantern, well, it might not be, like, the most popular pick right now, even though, like, Cresselia's around to kind of counter it, Charger Bug's around to counter it.
Yeah.
It isn't, there's a reason people are using it, right? It can't be safe into any team that doesn't have a Whiscash.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, this team, no Whiscash.
And, I mean, Whiscash is out there, but it was below 50% usage, so that's over half of teams that don't have a Whiscash. And if you're relying on, like, Charger Bug to be your best Lantern answer, Lantern puts up, even if you're on Spark, a heck of a fight versus Charger. So Lantern just looks really neutrally good, and like even against Altaria, like the pacing for ult isn't amazing. It's kind of
the bulk point with Lantern to ult too. Then Lantern just kind of dominates there.
Okay.
Doing 1 less damage each Dragon Breath is kind of like
that's nice.
It's kind of bit.
Ooh.
All right, but we see the Pelipper into the Altaria. A bit of an awkward matchup for Pelipper, but if you play the bait game properly here, you can actually make the matchup closer than you might think.
Bomb it up here. The Sky Attack reached first. Do we see the shields from Lesse here?
No shielding, just going for the 0.
Okay.
Hurricane, maybe.
Just going for the Hurricane.
I don't hate that.
Oh, a bait? Oh. I don't think he's gonna make the Hurricane though. He's gonna have to switch out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he switches out and saves the energy. Okay, he does. There goes Lantern.
And that's the bulk point. You can see how much less damage this Lantern's taking right now.
Wow. Just the fact that by seeing this matchup, you're able to be like, that's a bulk point Lantern is crazy to me. That is such a level of game stuff. And then, but this sets up Glide into Azu. But I mean, if Glide does have the 2 shields, it's at least more playable, but it's still tough. Yo,
honestly, that no shields from that Moonblast might be costing him this game. That Lantern was set to sweep in the back. I think if you had a Moonblast worth of health left, now you're going to be forced to shield Body Slams, which do significantly less damage here.
Oh, that's tough.
And this Big Rock's going to be able to work its way through.
And I don't think you are living a bubble to get to a Hurricane, so you have all this energy on your Pelipper that does nothing into the Azu or the ult. So San Judigo, in my view, is just in a completely commanding position now because the energy on the Pelipper
farm down before the Thunderbolt.
Oh, it does!
Just barely.
Oh, yeah, it's doomed. It's doomed. Wrap it up. It's doomed.
Lantern kind of needed to put in a lot of work here. Now it's gone.
Letting the Moonblast through is rough. There's the Azu. Hello, trainer.
I guess he was trying to catch an aerial ace there or something. I would have probably thrown that Sky Attack, but maybe that's just me. Shields the Dig, though. Probably the most damaging move left in the game. The Pelipper, as we said, just going to get to a Weather Ball, if anything. So being able to shield up that big move is a smart play. And also, I guess there is a potential catch opportunity here. But, like, even if you catch, Altaria still has a Sky Attack. And you have to throw all of your energy to get through this Azu. And you might just get fast moved down at this point. You are so low as the Shadow Glider. These bubbles do add up here.
Yeah,
the extended matchup.
The bubble buff is so felt here.
Yeah, I mean, Gligar, last season, before Azu was as common, a lot of things wouldn't do fast move pressure to it. But now with Bubble being buffed and stealing Skarmory being a thing, just in general, oh, you do get a Hurricane.
Oh,
I don't think it matters, but good for you, Pelipper. The Altaria unfortunately just farms you down, or yes, Sky Attack, that works too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Gligar definitely has a lot more fast move pressure to overcome now than it used to, and you can see it kind of add up quite a lot in that matchup there.
Absolutely. That was just, yeah, that Lantern into this team is so valuable, and he lost 50% of his HP just on that Moonblast there, and ult takes so long to get to moves that actually letting ult's energy be valuable was really, really tough.
Yeah, I think if he shielded that move, it would have been a bit of a different game. With that said, it would have been kind of rough in the back anyway, because you would have always had Vigoroth into Lantern, and then Azu into Gligar, which obviously not the matchup order that you'd want.
Oh,
okay.
Man, what a polarizing lead! The Lantern into the Skeledirge.
Oh, and no. He has the Skarmory too to wall the energy here.
That's so tough. Are you going to see a chip and dip
here? Maybe he's just building up energy. Okay, he's just building up energy and going to soak it here on his Skarmory.
Thanks to Surf? I don't mind that, yeah. His Skarm is such a nice wall. There was a little frame drop there, it looked like on the side of Senjudigo, which is a bit unfortunate, but I mean, Moonblast does nothing to the Skarm.
As long as it doesn't debuff, this matchup is very good for Skarmory. With that said, you can see these Dragon Breaths are actually doing a sizable amount of damage because they are doing 2 damage instead of 1. And that is honestly kind of the difference in a lot of these one-turn moves into Skarmory to make them better than you might expect. Licktong's kind of the same way, where it's always doing 2 damage with Licks. I've seen some people play out like the matchup where they debuff the Altaria, then swap into Skarmory, and the difference is night and day with how much less damage they do when they're debuffed. But yeah, Altaria actually putting in a ton of work here.
Yeah.
I think he could have got the farm down, honestly.
Agreed.
But just playing it safe, right? No reason to really risk it.
Either way, like, he's only getting 1 Incinerate here, which is good. Lantern already has a Surf loaded. Dirge is 10 turns off. I mean, clocks are back up. He just goes in Crest. He could just go Glide, and this matchup is neutral enough that there should just be a win for Lisey.
Yeah, I mean, especially no shielding a Grass Knot here. It's going to make it so you're not quite as immediately pressured by Cresselia's next charge attacks. And Digs are the most hard-hitting move left in the game. I'd assume these probably get shielded. And if shields go down, Lantern can probably just sweep with all the fast move pressure that we're seeing here, and with how much energy it already has.
Yeah, this is such an awkward position here. Going for Grass Knot after Grass Knot, but Lisey has a ton of energy on that Lantern, as you mentioned. The Gligar is still so threatening. Oh boy, the game stuttering a little bit, firing off the dig on charge attack priority.
Turns, yeah, the game state is a little iffy right now for them, it seems.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. I genuinely wonder if it could be venue internet, just because I felt like it's felt like slightly better as of late. I mean, it's still like there are still some times when things can be frustrating, but it feels like it's been slightly better as of late, at least as far as the tournaments go. So I wonder if it's maybe venue internet, which is tough.
Just, the venue.
Yeah. Dirge tanking that Surf.
Oh no!
Oh!
Over tap.
Going for timing, but Lantern the fish has too much energy.
He must not have remembered how much energy this Lantern actually had.
Yeah, that hurts.
We're not even in Grass Knot range yet, so this Cresselia needs to throw 2 moves to knock you out.
And he knows he has a dig, so he just Surf into dig and the game's done.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I think Lantern probably just finishes it off too. It survives this move. I'm pretty sure it can survive this, get off this next Surf here. Grass Knot, it's a good move, but it's non-stab and it's from Cresselia.
Yeah. Oh man.
Just on 1 HP, Lantern taking the win. Very well played. Very good call, actually, by our trainer on the right. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. But
that's fair. That's fair.
Good team call by him there. The double flyer team with the Gligar and the Skarmory in the back, honestly a very flexible team. The only thing he probably wouldn't have wanted to see in the lead was probably a Charger Bug. It's like Lantern, it's kind of awkward there. Skarmory, it's even worse. So he made the hard call. Charger Bug wasn't going to come in the lead. Charger Bug actually I don't think came that game at all. So
yeah. Also,
very good reads by him.
Also, I'm going to take a brief intermission here I have pulled up my phone on screen and I'm powering up the Shadow Cache. I am powering up the Shadow Cache here. What are the IVs? 313.5. So like it's not like amazing, but it has like a little bit of bulk. It's a rank 148. I'm powering up the Shadow Cache. It gets exactly to 1500. So
that's beautiful.
We'll take it. We'll take it. It looks beautiful. The Shadow Cache is built, and now we'll just have to watch a lot of ITSAXN streams to learn how to use the things. The Shadow Cache is built. Yeah,
that's a thing of beauty right there.
Il Bacello, Zionic lives in the UK, so he does cast some of those regionals. He's originally from America, but he lives in the UK now. Also, chat, while I'm here, I have to brag for a second. Look what I got last night. The rank 27 Shadow Snorunt, and it's a female.
That's just crazy.
I'm so happy. Oh,
the odds of that, dude. What are the odds? That's got to be so low.
Unbelievably. Yeah, because there is also Snover and Swinub in that Ice Grunt as well. So not only do you have to get the Snorunt, you have to get it to be a good IV, and it has to be female. Yeah.
That's just crazy. And that little bit of attack actually I think is pretty important too, because you can win CMP in the mirror, and there's a lot of things around that attack stat range too that you probably want that little bit of attack that you have on it.
Yep. So. Ooh, we got a winners finals. Zone versus Emsley boy. Dueling Annihilates. Look at the Annihilate cooking.
Okay, Annihilates finally making their debut here, making a good showing. I see the Registeel as kind of a polarizing pick here. It can definitely have a lot of play into like the top three of Emsley's team, but then the bottom three,
it's awkward.
Just kind of beat it. So what do you do with that? Do you bring it to call the Azus and stuff, or do you leave it on the bench because it could be a little polarizing?
This will be. I think we could potentially see Annihilate charge attack priority be an issue here with the dueling Annihilates. Is who is running that slight attack weight. So, and then Memi said went to a challenge with Zone's team, went 5-0. Yeah, this team feels really, really solid. Reggie into Charja, a bit uncomfortable here just because Reggie's energy is completely walled. But considering you have Licky in the back as Emsley, you've got to be pretty happy here. But this is looking like an awkward endgame where for Emsley, even if the Azu isn't on the Gligar, you end up with Gligar on his Licky, which is uncomfortable.
Yeah, and also this matchup here in the lead is not as uncomfortable as like it should be. You might be resisting Moose's Charger Bug, but you're below half before the Reggie is.
Yeah.
Reggie is just kind of stupid. It can punch its way through these matchups, and with the proper debuffs, it can make this Charge Bug's life very annoying.
Reggie...
These discharges don't do anything.
Yeah, and I mean, Reggie is just built different, unfortunately. So Reggie just does not care.
And this goes through as well, so this Charger Bug is basically a neutralize for the Azu.
Double debuff. Ooh, boy. I think...
He might even survive this after that.
Does he get the lockdown here?
The lock on down. Yeah, I don't know. We're not gonna see
aggro pivot Gligar at it met with the Azu, and now it's Licky in the back. This is looking so good for Zone.
Depends on how he decides to play out this Gligar matchup here. I'd like to see him take a shield as soon as he can with his Azu, just through the Ice Beam after one bubble, obviously, for good timing. Or I guess he's over-farming here.
Ooh, he over-farms, and that lets Emsley put the first shield pressure of the match down.
Now, yeah, you kind of have to shield first, which is a little awkward because you don't want to shield a good matchup like this. Normally, you want to make your opponent make that decision first.
That is, I think, a really underrated aspect of these in-game things, because now Emsley lets this go because he got a shield out of a bad matchup, whereas Zone would have been in a significantly better spot if, as you identified right from the start, forcing that shield pressure first. And yo, we got Eric with a 5-bomb with some kind words. Thank you so much, homie. I appreciate you. I am incredibly excited, man. I'm incredibly excited because now it is Licky into the Azu. Azu going to be firing off an Ice Beam, getting the shield from the Licky, still has the charge available as a catch. Azu, I mean, it's not outputting a lot of damage here onto the Licky, and now he's in a matchup where it's virtually identical HP, but Emsley has a massive energy head start, all because he didn't throw his Ice Beam first.
I think, honestly, though, the way that Zone is playing this isn't completely terrible either, because Ice Beams might actually end up doing more damage than Body Slam into Lickitung. So saving that energy for the Licky, you know, it could potentially pay off in the future.
In your journey. Can't
it puts Emsley in a very awkward spot too, where he needs to be on point with his counts. He needs to not only know what this Lickitung's at, he needs to know how much energy that Azu stored in the back, so he has enough energy to either throw a move before they throw theirs, or to catch. And that kind of precision is hard to have. Even, like, for me, I might have forgot if I were on stage right now, if the Azu was one bubble off or not.
It is so difficult to keep track of all those factors, even just in a regular game, and then add the pressure of a winner's finals on stage, hundreds of people watching you, knowing it's being broadcast to thousands of people here. And, this slam, Emsley shields.
If you don't shield it, you get bubbled down.
Yeah.
So you do have to shield it. But now Azu...
Yeah, this potentially opens the door for Azu here. Does he go for a catch on Reggie? No, he does not. Instead, just going to let this go. And Zone...
come down to a catch here, I think.
Zone barring a catch from Emsley should actually be in a decent position here. And he just goes to the Ice Beam right away, and Emsley doesn't get the prediction. Doesn't get the prediction.
That's how it goes at the end game. If you don't know exactly what the energy's at, or... if you think your opponent's not going to throw instantly, because sometimes those mind games really get you, it can be a little rough.
So Zone
and
takes
Azu
it.
just bubbled down the Charge Bug, and Zone, he takes game number 1 here.
Very
well played by him. His energy management on that Azu actually ended up working out in his favor, because those charge moves probably do more damage than Body Slam in the Lickitung mirror.
Yeah, it'll be one thing that I do slightly miss now that these streams are like officially done is in the unofficial EU streams, they used to have the flags up, and I think that could be a cool thing to bring back specifically for the non-NA regionals, because NA half the time it's going to be a lot of Americans. Yeah. Oh, Skarm into Annihilate. This I actually don't know the exact.
There's Ape in the back.
Oh, there's Ape in the back too. Let's go. I'm not sure of the exact specifics on this one. Like, I feel like I know the Wizcash matchup pretty well, but I don't know this one. No baits here, straight for the Shadow Ball. This does a lot of damage. Like, this should put it into the low yellow, and we do see the shield from Emsley.
Yeah, by going straight Shadow Ball here, you do actually outpace the 2 Sky attacks. So if Annihilate throws another move before you throw yours, it's just going to be an Ice Punch. With that said, I think in the 2 shield, if Annihilate does go straight Ice Punch, it probably can just take that matchup. So seeing that Shadow Ball get shielded is a little unfortunate for Zone.
Ooh, but
he makes a catch on the Sky attack.
Okay.
That's a good play.
Now,
but with that said, it opens up some wiggle room for his opponent.
Yeah, is it Licky into Licky, or does he go Ape here is what I'm very, very interested in, because he could very well do both. Judging by the fact that he's giving the energy, it makes sense that he Licky mirrors, but this puts Ape on Azu in the end game, which in evens is very, very awkward.
Yeah, and that Annihilate did end up banking some energy too, so I think Annihilate plus Azu in the back is probably going to be enough to take game number 2 here.
Ape is I think 1 off a ball, because you had mentioned that it's straight 8 to a ball, but 8-7 to the Sky attack, so it should be 1 short. Yo, what's up, Dr. Games?
Yeah, and that Skarmer is only able to farm up 6 extra Steel Wings too, so it's behind.
And then Skarm, is that 8-7-7 or 8-7-8? I'm not 100% sure.
For Steel Wing, it's like 8 and then 7 for like the next 6.
Okay, got you. So it's Shades of Charizard Blast Burn, but 8 and then a bunch of 7s instead of 7 and a bunch of 6s. Okay, got you.
Yeah, and also there's like a little bit of weird synergy with Sky Attack and Brave Bird, where it's 8 to both of the moves at first, and then 7 to both of the moves if it's your second move after your Sky Attack. So 8 to the first sky attack, then 7 to the next sky attack or Brave Bird. But Brave Bird is only 8, 7, then 8.
Nice switch out there by Zone, understanding he would get farmed down. Winning charge attack priority. Ice Punch into the Licky does pick up the knockout. In comes the Skarmory to make it to a move, but I think you just let this go and just go at... Oh, he shields the Ape! He shields... That's a bit of a surprise. He should be able to get the farm down here, but if you're endlessly, you can't really switch because you actually need... This is kind of an awkward... He will get an awkward amount of counters, but Azu just soaks this energy. Like, he has to shield this, and then he just gets play roughed.
I mean, Azu, like, it can lose to 2 Shadow Balls, but it doesn't get 2 shot by Shadow Balls. The counters are actually very important. So if you just have 2 Shadow Balls, that's actually not that bad for Azu here. And he doesn't even have Shadow Balls yet, so Azu should be able to tank this energy, get to the play rough.
Ape, to answer your question, Shmiggy, I think from like 100, Ape lives the play rough, but as we can see, these bubbles add up enough that this should just knock out. Like, I think from 100 it tanks it, because Azu is pretty low attack, but...
Yeah, I'm assuming it probably does like 80-85%.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. But Zone takes
Zone
it.
Is our first day 2 competitor.
Nicely done there.
Definitely, congratulations to him on that. It's always such a relief to get to your day 2, especially when you're the first person to get it. You're able to go get something to eat, watch the tournament from the restaurant or wherever you're going. Hopefully, his day number 2, which is I guess coming up honestly in like 12 hours.
Yeah,
now.
12 hours. Yeah. Yeah,
it's gonna be fun to see how he does there.
I love
Lurgan
time
Rocket
zones.
though.
Yeah,
Lurgan Rocket.
Lurgan
He, was the very first Liverpool champion back in 2022.
Ooh,
so
looking to defend the crown. To answer your question, Kurt, so far they've all been on Ice Punch. We haven't seen any I believe what's being referred to as an Arrow Ape. I don't think we've seen any of the Arrow Apes yet. But, oh god, and then the chat's already telling me that we're going to butcher this name. We're 100% going to butcher this name. I'm going to say Lurgan Rocket, because we know that one. Obviously, running Talon, Azu, Obama, Cress, the Reggie Steele, and the Wizcash. And then I'm just going to say Airy, and I'm not going to try for the rest of it. Safe. Airy with Skarm, Shadow Gligar, Annihilate, Azu, Cash, and Licky.
Both very meta teams, but I mean, what else would you expect in the winners finals here of a group?
Yeah.
Lurgan Rocket, I think he is one of the best Cresselia users in the world. He was using it before it was cool, and now we're in a Cresselia meta. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how he uses it here. It actually looks like it has play against 5 out of 6 mons here. It just wants to really avoid that Skarmory. Lickitung, especially if you have a good Cresselia or if you're running Future Sight, it's not as comfortable for the Licky as you might think it is. So you really just have to avoid that Skarmory, and Cresselia is going to have a lot of play here.
And man, going up against the man who basically pioneered Cresselia in these types of formats is definitely going to be a little tough. No Diggersby this time. The meta's a little hostile to it.
I fought Lurgan Rocket at Worlds in 2022, and his Cresselia and his Diggersby. Dude, he is so good with those mons. It is so oppressive to fight a player who knows what they're doing with these kinds of core breakers, these kinds of bulky mons.
Very cool to see.
So I think he is very much in his element right now. Speak of the devil, and there's the Cresselia. It comes out first thing here. It's kind of an awkward lead, but depending on the moveset here, it is Future Sight. So Lurgan does have a lot more play than he might otherwise. And I think the important thing here, your Whiscash doesn't have to see this Licky.
Yeah. Cash looking so strong in the back, but then again, so is the Annihilate. The Annihilate dodging the Cresselia is huge for Airy here. So this will be a bit interesting. Cash may need a debuff or two to help save it from the wrath of our good friend the monkey.
Yeah, something that's looking a little rough for Lurgan just in general. I don't know where his Registeel is going to be able to fit in backline here.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Guillaume says, given this is the Liverpool Championships, can I hear some English accents for commentary? No thank you. I will pass. I am terrible at accents. I'm horrible at accents. I will pass.
I do not want to embarrass myself that much.
Yeah, my dad's whole side of the family is British, and I will still not do it. I will still not do it. All right, the slam here.
I'd love to see a mud shot down. I honestly want to see a mud shot down here.
And that's the difference there with the mud shot down. Because
does he
this
get it before the body slam?
he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. And then this forces him to bring an ape. But down this much energy, this is actually terrible for ape. This is
I think this might have given Lurgan some play here, because at this point, you can probably even get a Scald off eventually onto that Gligar if you play this out right, and you got a debuff as well.
Debuff as well? Oh no, charge attack priority.
Properly shielding these Shadow Balls, like either if your opponent baits and you call it, or you shield the Shadow Ball, it's so bad for the ape.
Lurgan, like this cache is so well positioned. It's so well positioned now.
What was looking really bad for him in the back because of that Registeel being kind of useless. Oh man, and the Scald goes through, so now he just goes straight Mud Bomb. And he keeps getting the debuffs! Does he make a catch? He might make a catch here.
No catch, going for the Mud Bomb. But the moment Gligar comes in, I mean, Cash has energy here. He's going to end up shielding.
That is so bad, because now Gligar is going to have to take a Scald almost definitely.
Yep.
As long as Lurgan perfectly overfarms here, he's in a very good spot. You always shield this.
Yeah.
You know your Reggie might not have play in the back.
Can he catch the Mud Bomb on Gligar? Catches the catch! He gets the catch!
Oh my god.
Oh, that's beautiful by Airy here.
This is a good catch.
Oh, that is gorgeous.
However, Lurgan has the Scald. He gets the lock on down.
Oh,
and I think Lurgan has this.
If he gets the lock on down, it's done. Oh, he does. He does. Yep, he does.
It's not at a Shadow Ball.
Yep.
So
100% gets the lock on down.
Perfect lock on down.
Lurgan is a wizard. Lurgan is a wizard.
He is too good at this game. He is too good.
He is an absolute wizard.
You get the lock on down, you just focus blast the ape, or maybe zap if you get to it.
Yeah.
He's reaching for the zap, it looks like. A blast would be enough, but he wants to respect his opponent. He'll go for the neutral move. Very well played by both trainers. That Mud Bomb catch, absolutely amazing. Just barely not enough, though, to overcome how much energy that Whiscash ended up getting from that lead.
Well, Austin, to answer your question, if ITSAXN ever decides to take a small break from the actual battling, I think he could do great in like a casting analyst role, because they typically try and have like one person is a hype person and one person as like knowledge. And I don't think we're gonna find anyone in the space who fulfills the knowledge aspect of it better than ITSAXN. So,
like, you do a pretty good job there. Although, what do they have you for, actually? Are you the knowledge or the hype person? Because you're literally both.
Technically hype, but I try to provide knowledge as well, but just knowledge in a hype manner. So
hype knowledge, we take it.
Hype knowledge. But yes, the lo-fi music is playing Peleus because I'm hoping that this will actually clear copyright, so that way it'll be available as a VOD afterwards. So that's why I am playing lo-fi copyright free music. So
makes sense.
I'm pretty sure that I know ITSAXN's thoughts on this, but I will ask it anyway because he is the Shadow Whiscash Whisperer. He'll tell us his thoughts on building a 10, 11, 15 Shadow Whiscash. It gets to 1476.
I mean, it's not the best Whiscash out there, obviously, but if it's the only one you have, you might as well at least TM it so you have the option to use it.
That's fair. And then Barboach is in Water Grunts, so you do have the potential during this event to potentially get
grinding him.
Yep.
Yeah. Ooh,
all right,
okay.
Skarmory into cash.
It's a bit of an awkward lead if the Skarmory wants to Brave Bird and dip, especially if a debuff doesn't come out with the Whiscash.
Oh,
but
that ape has nowhere to go in back.
That is very true. The Gligar is somewhat safe, but it doesn't have a good matchup either. So this is gonna be kind of an uphill battle for Ari.
Lurgan and his debuffs, man.
Well, Shadow Cash here would be able to get the 2-shot here. Regular Cash, unfortunately, a little less consistent in this matchup. But if you get the debuffs, then it doesn't matter. You just tank all of the energy anyway.
Oh, gets the sneak!
Oh my god!
Gets the
sneak! This on a Brave Bird? That might just one-shot it now. So you deny basically a full Brave Bird of energy?
Oh, it KOs! Oh, that's wicked!
What are you doing, Lurgan? Holy
crap! That's wicked! What a play! Oh! What a play by Lurgan! That's unbelievable!
I don't even know what to say now, man.
Wow!
That is disgustingly, it's just so many things happened there.
Wow.
He snuck the Incinerate. He got the snipe down because the Brave Bird lowered the Skarmory defense, made it so the Incinerate would KO.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And, oh my god.
And now Cress a Cress up a shield just cooks the ape, and then he still has the Whiscash.
Yeah,
preserved.
Whiscash has some energy as well. So
unbelievable.
He just one shot because the Incinerate damage puts this basically into Skull range.
And
I don't.
And he knows that this is only an ace. This is not threatening at all.
Yeah. And now that the Skarmory's out of the way, you know, your Cresselia up shields probably beats anything in the back.
Yep, exactly. Something that I do want to make at some point is a video of like the top 10 show 6 plays from.
I think you might have just found one.
Yeah, I was gonna say. And then another one I think would be in Charlotte, the decision by Buckeye to anticipate Dune's combo play and then switch an Azu into a Reggie, anticipating that Gligar combo was gorgeous.
Dude, Buckeye played that set so well there.
Yeah, it was terrific stuff. Yeah, that play, dude. Lurgan is a scary man right there.
You don't want to face him on a good day, even on a bad day. You don't want to face him. You just don't want to face this guy. He's too good. And it looks like his Cresselia also gets a counter bulk point in this matchup. So these Shadow Balls wouldn't be enough to KO at this point. Whereas if you get the extra damage with the counter, it can actually put it a little closer to Shadow Ball range.
The knowledge. I'm losing my mind. I didn't know there was a counter bulk point. Holy!
There are so many things about Annihilate. Like, there's an Altaria Dragon Breath bulk point that if you get, you just destroy Altaria with Annihilate.
Oh my goodness.
It is a Pokemon I wish I was able to grind a little more, but I had like a huge snowstorm and it was always like cloudy weather boost for me, so I wasn't able to grind it as much as I wanted.
Oh, that's extremely unfortunate.
Hopefully it'll come back again though.
Fingers crossed, yes. And this should be an absolutely incredible matchup. Stone Collection versus Andres is going to be amazing. Stone has such a cool team. Shadow Dragonair, Shadow Sableye, Cress, Whiscash.
Sableye. I love Shadow Sableye, actually. I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on like that kind of ghost type right now. We see a lot of Annihilate. What Shadow Sableye can do is if you shield the Power Whips properly in the 2-shield against Lickitung, you actually flip that matchup straight foul play because Licks don't do any extra damage to Shadow Sableye compared to regular Sableye. You just get extra damage, basically.
That's unbelievable. So my question to you is, Shadow Sableye, do you, and granted, you don't have to go into specifics for Show 6, because obviously I know IVs are something that a lot of people are very, like, they keep secret. Like, you didn't reveal the meta until after Worlds, but as far as Go Battle League goes, because that's primarily the audience here, would you tend, as far as Shadow Sableye, more towards an attack weight or a bulk weight? Because I know there's been some discussion there. Attack?
For Shadow Sableye specifically, against Azumarill, there's a Shadow Claw breakpoint. If you get that, then you can flip that matchup pretty easily. If you don't get it, then it's a pretty good matchup for Azu. Also, Sableye is in that 122 attack range. If you have a little more attack, you win CMP over things like Frostlass, Venusaur, Pelipper, Sableye, Annihilate now as well. If you have a high enough attack one, you actually win CMP over Annihilate too. So all of these reasons add up, I think, in my opinion, to run a higher attack Sableye. Like, and when I say high attack, I mean like a 15-15-15 Sableye.
Oh wow, okay.
Like a really, a decently high attack weight.
Oh my goodness. Because I have a like high rank Shadow, but I do want to hold off for a more attack weight one. But that is really good info to have, because I do want to build a Shadow Sableye, but I want to make sure that I build one that I'm gonna use and it's gonna be kind of future proof. But yeah, Stone also with a rare Deoxys sighting, the Licky, and we have seen Andres' team before. But yeah, chat, this is why if you're thinking, how does someone become the world champion for Pokemon Go? Have as big of a brain as ITSAXN does, dude. He has probably forgotten more about this game than I've ever learned. Lickitung into a shiny Charjabug. Licky, I believe, wins 0s and 1s. I think Charja has play in the 2s, but considering he has Deoxys in the back, Deoxys has to be really happy to be dodging the Charja.
This is actually a really neutral game here. I don't see any like hard counters aside from, I guess, Deoxys into Vigoroth if that were to happen.
Yeah.
But like Charjabug into Licky, this would go either way depending on how many shields you want to invest. And then that Dragonair as well. We don't see the Azu. And Dragonair is pretty well known for just 2-shielding through basically anything in the game if they don't resist Dragon Breath. So I think Stone Collection... Oh, and she just gives up switch advantage. This is a little awkward for Stone. Yeah. You never really want to switch in either of your backline and down energy against a Lickitung. But maybe with a chip dip? I don't know.
It'll be tough because she's correctly identified that he has nothing that wants to deal with energy advantage Lickitung on his team. So the Lickitung save switch is completely free. And even Deoxys, I mean, it is defense Deoxys. The joke that we made on the broadcast was, it's not HP Deoxys, it's defense Deoxys. Like, it has no HP, so the one-turn licks shred this thing.
Yeah, and you can even see, like, if you ever see Deoxys into, like, a Registeel, even the lock-on's chunk because of how low of HP. One interesting thing as well, this Deoxys is running Thunderbolt. I've heard some people talk about maybe Rock Slide Deoxys to counteract Charge Bug.
Interesting.
And to be a little quicker to moves. But Thunderbolt, I think, is just kind of the standard moveset as well. And you get that farm down. That is beautiful.
Oh,
you get the perfect farm down.
Yeah.
Charge Bug as little farm as possible. And you have a Psycho Boost loaded to throw against whatever comes in.
No new mechanic there for Andres. In comes the charge up. Perfect mechanics by Stone as always, just going for one in the move. Andres recognizing that this energy is very, very valuable. We see the switch into the D there, and it's met with the Vigoroth.
Yeah, this Dragonair up shields is going to be able to easily take out this Vigoroth. Yeah. You can see Vigoroth definitely chunking it down with counter fast move pressure, but the Charge Bug is still always going to have to throw one X-Scissor to knock this thing out. Volt Switch is resisted by Dragonair, and Licky is still in range of surviving an X-Scissor on its own. I think Stone Collection probably has game number 1 here, as long as nothing too unexpected happens. Oh, and
the charge attack priority!
This is so bad. It means that he doesn't even have to shield, so he has an extra shield that he might not otherwise have had.
Yeah, honestly, even if she gets that move first, I still don't see a path to victory here, because
I think you could probably just no shield both of these X-Scissors on like your Dragonair and then your Licky. You'd still win this.
Yeah, Licky's still not in X-Scissor range because, I mean, it took a bunch of licks, but licks do no damage. So
yeah, and it should have some energy. Yeah, it literally has a body.
Yeah, it had a move, so
Stone Collection knowing just so well that his Lickitung would survive that X-Scissor and that you don't need to throw the body slam. You can finish the game off just a little quicker by fast moving it down.
But yeah, also, while we have everyone here, hold on. All I have to do is twitch.tv/I and it fills in the rest.
Oh, let's go.
If you want to see more of ITSAXN's big brain, hold on, I'm going to pin this. ITSAXN's Twitch here. I'm going to pin this, so drop him a follow because he drops very, very good insights. He hasn't been streaming for like a lot of time, but it's been awesome to see like the community that he's been able to build up there and really make it like an educational space where it's very easy to like make high level PvP dense because there's a lot going on, but I feel like you do a very good job at making it in a way where it's very approachable and understandable, even if someone is not like nearly at your level of experience, which I think is really nice. So yeah, I will throw a link there. Definitely go drop him a follow because he streams a lot. He streams even more than I do. It is genuinely impressive how much you end up streaming there. I tap out at about
every day. Yeah.
Yeah,
I stream every day around 5 p.m. PST on that that link in the chat. So make sure if you want to see more.
Yeah, and he also talks about like regionals trends, and then we'll like break down recommended teams and stuff like that. So if you're interested in obviously good GBL teams, because he's very understandably very good at that, but also the show 6 side of things as well. So yes, the and Erickson mentions the Twitch picks, the what is that mon called, the Illumise or whatever it is.
Oh dude, I hate that thing so much. Twitch's favorite Pokemon, yeah.
Illumise. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful.
I don't know if I've ever won with Illumise. I think I've got a win or two with Volbeat, though.
With Volbeat? He has both built.
Maybe they play both.
He has both built? Oh, no. All right.
Looks like they're taking a minute to lock in here.
Oh, it looks like...
was there a dispute that game?
Maybe. It would typically say match under review there. I don't think it would change the outcome. So,
Interesting.
ITSAXN currently just streams over on Twitch, Hritwick. So, all right, either it was a dispute or maybe they had some kind of a tech issue because
I mean, I didn't see anything disputable that last game, so
yeah, and
like it's just an error.
I imagine like Andres would have wanted to throw the body slam. Okay, yeah, and it looks like we are getting into game number 2. And Thomas says always watch the replay. That's nice that he keeps the VODs up because yeah, if you're not necessarily in a time zone that's super comfortable there,
it's
like
not EU friendly or anything.
Yeah, you
Dragonair into Shadow Glider.
This one, D-Nair, I believe, can, because both are Shadow, can just 2-shield farm down. So if Stone wants to sell out for Switch, he can, but that does leave him very vulnerable to cash in the back. Again, Andres just exploiting the fact that there is, oh, that's nice. Getting DB, saving all the energy. I was going to say, there's nothing that wants to see Lickitung except his own Lickitung. He brings it this time.
It's a different way to chip and dip right there. I think a lot of people see chip and dip as like maybe throwing an aerial with your Gligar before swapping out. But if you have fast move pressure, you can chip and dip like that as well. And what that does, that gives you so much energy later in the game too. That Dragonair basically has 2 body slams loaded. And your Lickitung is going to be able to absorb all the energy that you let it build up, the opposing Lickitung build up. And honestly, that Dragonair, especially into the team that we see here, like there's no Azu that was brought this game. That energy is going to go so far.
That it definitely will. Firing off body slam after body slam. A brief interlude. My 4 p.m. balloon showed up. It's psychic, and I currently have a counter Wobbuffet destroying my Shadow Tyranitar in the background. Which, that's something that I noticed is that the balloons arrive every 2 hours this event instead of the normal every 3.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Which is really clutch.
And also, like, all the grunts are so good now.
Yes!
Like, I think last rotation, the leaders were the good stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's the grunts. The leaders are kind of mid.
Yeah.
The grunts are literally just, like, the best shadows that are around.
Yeah, Shadow Gligar is back, chat. If you don't have one, Shadow Gligar is like definitely preferred to the regular. It is in the flying grunt. So it is in the flying grunt, but please get yourself a Shadow Gligar. The thing is a beast. Sending in the Deoxys here, I don't mind this because it sets up a Psycho Boost and dip.
And what you're doing here is you're like being kind of an energy sponge on your Deoxys. Your Dragonair, it can't take a charge move at all.
Yeah.
Deoxys.
Ooh, no debuff. No debuff. It looks like ITSAXN may. Okay.
Green. It caught it.
We're back. We're back.
A little bit of a stutter there. But we are still here.
Yes.
Yeah, and all this energy from this Dragonair should be able to put this Whiscash down.
Yeah, and this energy is so valuable too. And Cash isn't making another move. Like, it is gonna have to, like, oh no, it just gets farmed down.
You can't even swap. That is so rough. The Gligar does have a ton of energy. Stone remembered that, so he threw his move immediately. But also, the Gligar didn't throw because they knew the Dragonair had a move. You don't want to throw in CMP there if you don't have to.
Yeah.
But at this point, you're in Psycho Boost range. So is a dig going to be enough to knock out before a Psycho Boost can come through?
Oh my goodness. So charge attack priority. It all comes down to this. It has to knock out. Also, a mini Coke. I think Automod might nuke it, but if you share it, that's fine. I don't think it quite does. Oh, it just does it. You can see there by Andres. She's like, no, you're kidding me. You're kidding me.
That was one wing attack, one fast move of difference.
Oh, no. You can see there, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
I mean, she played well. She played that so well, given the oppressive nature of that Dragonair that game. But, I mean, when you don't bring an answer to it, a hard wall, like Azumarill, which she did have as an option, but not something that she actually brought, it can be so hard to deal with those Dragon Breaths. Those Shadow Dragon Breaths do so much damage to literally anything in the game. Even Steel types. Like, back in the day when Galarian Stunfisk was one of the most common Pokemon, Dragonair just won the 2 shield because Aqua Tail obviously super effective. and Dragon Breath did enough damage to actually start pressuring it. Oh, Xylis, okay, former, well, regional champion from this season, actually.
Very, very nice. And then, someone has a question that while we look over the teams, I figured I'd ask, but for Go Battle League, for Shadow Gligar, because this is a lot of people's first opportunity to get one, do you recommend like high bulk or is some attack nice there specifically for Go Battle League purposes?
So I think the only thing that really matters with the Gligar matchup, like the only reason you'd ever go with more attack than just like a rank 1 Gligar, is so that you could win CMP in the mirror matchup.
Okay.
As someone who plays out that mirror quite a lot, you know, it definitely is useful to have the higher attack. But with that said, Gligar, it's in kind of an awkward bulk range where you do probably want more bulk on it, rather than going for just a more attack-weighted Gligar. So
okay.
I would probably recommend, you know, maybe like 3 or 4 attack at most on it. And if you're going crazy, you want the Gligar Slayer, I guess just go for like 15 attack.
That's fair.
But for the most part, you know, just look for a decent PvP IV one, I think. I don't have any specific matchups in mind for that one.
Sounds good, sounds good. We've got Pablo versus Xylis. People in chat were kind of popping off. See the Shadow Dragonite. Shadow Dragonite, Azu, Shadow Gligar. Double normal with Licky and Vigoroth, and then Cash, and then Xylis, Skeledirge, Whiscash, Registeel, Abomasnow, Pelipper, and the Shadow Dragonair.
Another Abomasnow that we have seen so many trainers who have made it far into the tournament actually have been bringing this Abomasnow.
Abomasnow has been cooking.
You see the Fire, Water, Grass trio. That trio, as long as you don't see a Dragon type, normally does pretty well. We do see a Dragon type, but your Grass type, in this case, is an Ice type as well. So it kind of counteracts that a little bit. It makes it so you can pair your Grass and your Fire type together, or maybe your Grass and your Water type a little easier. I could see that Dragonite, though, actually having a decent amount of play. Like, Superpower hits both of its hardest counters for super effective damage with that Registeel and the Abomasnow. And then Dragonair is it's a new mechanic dependent matchup if you get a Dragon Claw off.
Yes.
It's actually kind of stupid how that matchup goes. If it goes how the game is not intended to play, but how it normally works, then you just farm it down before it gets a Dragon Claw with your Dragonair. So, it's a tricky situation if you are in that matchup. It's a very quick matchup. But aside from that, I think this Dragonite could have a lot of play. I'm
excited to see it. Looks like we do have lock-ins. Game number 1, Vigoroth into Abomasnow. Tough lead for Xylis, and he's ABA weak to the Vigoroth, but Registeel does actually have play there since Vigoroth has no... Oh, and we see the Azu counter switch, but this does mean that Registeel, especially if Xylis can play for shields down, should be looking really good. It looks like his Dragon Breaths are stuttering a lot, though, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, with a one-turn move like that, you really want to have as much precision as possible. So seeing this like stutter, like you're not necessarily losing Dragon Breaths, but you're losing precision with your timing.
Yeah.
He was able to throw after 2 Dragon Breaths there, so at least it didn't matter. Yeah. But it, as a competitor, can definitely be a little frustrating to deal with.
Yeah. I imagine there's probably the psychological component as well, as like knowing that could happen as well can probably weigh on you a little bit. But if Xylis is able to get all these shields down, Reggie's looking to be in a really, really nice position for him. The Ice Beam is
honestly don't think the opponent shields. I don't think that the Azu's ever going to shield here. Because if you look at how good 2-shield Vigoroth looks into Xylis' team,
it is insanely good, yeah.
There's no counter user, right? So if you just save your shields for that, it's really gonna put in some work here.
Oh, we do see a shield.
You know, don't mind me.
I am rather surprised by that as well. Gets the catch onto the Abomasnow, saves the D-Nair. He was able to get at least 1 shield down, but I mean, this is just Vigoroth again.
Biggest issue I see right now, that
weak connection. Oh no! Oh man. I
don't know how much it's mattering. I think he has lost a couple Powder Snows here, though.
Yeah. If it comes down to like 1 HP at the end.
Oh no.
Oh no. I think he got the 4 Powder Snows in there, but it's still very rough. He gets. I didn't see a lock on go through there, but this has got to be extremely demotivating.
Yeah, I feel bad for Xylas here. He did get the debuff off, which means these counters do nothing. And there is that Licky in the back, so depending on like how many moves he actually lost, this could actually have mattered here.
Yeah. Because Vigoroth is so low. Pablo's...
And without Bulldoze, like you don't do anything with your charge moves here. And
yeah.
debuffed counters are not doing as much as you might expect.
Looking to switch, but I mean, he just gets smacked with a slam now. Because Pablo was doing a good job of...
Very good energy management by Pablo.
Yeah. He was...
energy for when this swaps in.
Ooh, the catch on the Azu. That's really nicely done. He ideally wants to zero bubble this and then just lock on down. Would be preferred. Okay.
It looks like he will be able to do, yeah.
That's
good play by
nice,
him there.
but unfortunately, there's still a shield on the side of ZZ.
Yep, and honestly, like, it is a bit awkward because if you come in Vigoroth, you might get locked on down.
Yeah.
But then again, if you come in Lickitung... Okay, you probably just, like, no-shield this now, right? Yeah.
This is...
most consistent.
This is really, like... I could see Z's Wireless disputing this. I think it would be a tough game to be given a rematch, even though you could tell that, like, the lag affected him. I think it's a tough game to award a rematch because it isn't as clear cut as like charge attack not showing up. There's more
nuance. I want to point out here too is if he didn't have the Lickitung breakpoint, which it looks like he actually does here, then I could have seen the case for a rematch a little more. But the fact that Licky does do 2 damage per lick in this case, it probably means Xylas would lose that.
I'll fast forward a little bit. They're talking about it. I mean, at the very least, I imagine they're probably like they did like a speed test on the phone or something just to make sure it's still doing okay.
I think I saw on Twitter Xylas was talking about this, and he was a little upset about the situation where he didn't actually like dispute it because the judge was like, it probably wouldn't work, but you could like try to dispute it if you want. And he was like, I guess I won't.
Got you.
Okay, well, good lead for him this time, at least.
He goes Licky. Interestingly,
very good lead, given.
He,
I would have probably zapped or, like, stayed in that or something and then have Pelipper for Azu.
Yeah, like...
Licky just straight up wins the 2s here, right?
Yeah, giving up Switch feels a bit uncomfortable here. I guess... Oh, no. Again, his Dragon Breaths. He is dropping breaths. That's so rough.
I don't like seeing that.
Yeah, that makes me feel like it's actually it doesn't look like he
Wait, did the Licky lost moves?
Yeah, hold on.
Because Licky stayed
swapped. Licky. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, Licky was ahead.
Yeah, it's like it's what's stuttering there. This time.
Yeah, Licky should be like 2 ahead, and then suddenly Licky's behind. That looks so weird.
That's not how this game
works. Yeah,
works.
Licky,
well, it's how the
Licky
game...
actually just froze and did nothing, and then he was shaking his head, but
yeah,
weirdly enough, he wasn't the one impacted there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess both phones are having some issues right now.
Oh, no.
One thing I guess I do want to talk about in this specific matchup, if you have a very defensive Dragonair, you can take 2 damage instead of 3, I believe, from licks.
Ooh.
And that makes this much better for Dragonair. But you need like the max defense.
Good to know.
That's really hard to get. Yeah, this is a pretty annoying situation here for Pablo. He could have potentially gone for shields down, and his shields are, or he could have gone for switch rather. And with switch, obviously, you'd much rather have your Azu into that Pelipper and the Vigoroth into the Registone.
Yeah.
So
I am expecting ZZ wins this, and then if so, I think it's kind of like, well, both trainers had a game where lag negatively impacted them, so it more equals out. Obviously, it's not something you want to see, but it feels slightly more equal. Vigoroths love to bait here. ZZ is going to commit the shield, though, because you just don't want to let a Rock Slide go and get countered down, because that's such a feels bad moment.
Vigoroth is a very neutral mon against a lot of things. It has a lot of play into flyers. The Rock Slide addition that they gave it makes it so things like Pelipper, which might have otherwise been a decent neutral check to it, actually really need to start worrying about shielding.
Yep, and he full sends here. ZZ forced the shield.
I mean, the shield makes sense, right? Azu's not going to put any meaningful damage whatsoever. Like, this is, as far as things are considered, unless the Azu's running Hydro Pump, which I don't think it is, there are literally only resisted charge moves left for that Registeel in this game.
And then the wing attack damage here is so impactful to get this into a range where Reggie can handle the Vigo. And like, this is a really awkward health range if the Vigo has shields, but he peeled all the shields away.
All right, looks like
sending in the Azu is interesting because now this little bit of lag forces a free bubble there, which is unfortunate. But in this instance, this just sets up ZZ for a zap, an undercharge zap, and then a farm down into a blast. And this is just a pretty clear path forward to victory.
Yeah, I mean, by swapping out of your Vigoroth there, you just give this Registeel basically the perfect Pokemon to get some sort of advantage to come back into that Vigoroth with.
Exactly. And these player ups, I'm pretty sure got the debuff as well. Like, they just do nothing.
Yeah, they're going to put it into the yellow, maybe. But that's about it. That's about all it's going to do. You still need another 2 of those. I kind of like this play, the Focus Blast. It's a little easier to undercharge in this situation. Probably get like about a Great. Or he's just full sending it, never mind. Okay.
He could have undercharged by a couple bubbles there, but this ends up getting him closer.
But okay, yeah, I mean, good enough, right? Good enough here. The Vigoroth wasn't ever going to get to a move with that energy lead. We might see a dispute here because of that Licky versus Dragonair matchup. It's a little more obvious how lag directly impacted this game. It looks like they are talking to the judge here, so I don't know if this will be a match under review or not. It looks like it might actually be with the way things are looking, though.
Maybe. I would almost kind of wish that... Okay, so yeah, it looks like it will be under review. I almost kind of wish he would have been like, well, you had a game impacted by lag, I had a game impacted by lag, but obviously that's not how these things work. So
yeah,
it looks like a do-over was given.
Kind of rough. Okay, wow, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. I think all things considered, yeah, that probably did matter. But it is kind of rough when your opponent doesn't dispute against you about a game that you lost to lag, and then your opponent does it back to you.
That's tough.
I don't think I've ever had that situation myself. Obviously, it is the competitor's right if you do lag to dispute a game, and so like nothing against him. He's just doing what he can to secure his invite to Worlds, but it is a little rough for his Vilus, right?
For sure, yeah. Now we're going to see, the save switch D-Nair met with the Licky. This time D-Nair should have the energy head start. So D-Nair will actually...
Yeah, this energy lead, like, as long as you're not down energy, you do win the 2s as the D-Nair here. And you don't really want to be shielding Body Slams as the Lickitung. Like, Body Slam, it's non-stab, it's generally a pretty weak move. But if you don't shield it, then the Dragonair, well, he actually no shields.
Oh, can he get
you survive this? Do you get the Body Slam?
Oh, he doesn't. Barely not.
Okay.
This is...
I mean, it makes sense that you no-shield that, because if you look at the backline, right, like, it's not like you need Switch here. You just need energy to somehow take out that D-Knight.
This is a really, really uncomfortable health range, which has come up a couple times. Like, Reggie is so strong, but this health range... There's so much HP left on this Licky, and your options are throwing a 75 energy charge attack, or just going way over 100, and he's just gonna bank energy, send in the Pelly, met with the Shadow Dragonite here, and Dragonite is so glassy that it has to shield Weather Balls, because, I mean, it just cannot take a hit at all.
Yeah, I mean, we were seeing in that Lickitung versus Registeel matchup just how much work that Lick Breakpoint did put in. That Reggie wasn't even in that matchup for too long, and it's at half health.
Yeah.
So having that breakpoint can be important for situations like that. But now we see that the Dragonite is probably just going to put in enough work this game to strip this Pelipper down to probably around Body Slam range. I could see a potential no shield happening here, because if you shield this, a Focus Blast one-shot your Vigoroth.
I like
which
that.
It does look like it's the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Licky still has enough health to maybe get to a Body Slam. But yeah, if you bring it in there, you could also put yourself into wing attack downrange, and you don't really want that, just in case they can wing attack down your Licky and use all that energy into Vigoroth.
The shield by Zweilous, he's trying to force the shield with the Hurricane. Clock's not quite up for Pablo. Oh, he banks it. Oh, interesting. So he.
This is one of those situations right here. You could do 5 counters and swap to Licky and be completely safe.
Yep.
I think you just win the game if you do that.
Interesting. He throws here. This doesn't knock out, but he does have. I'm pretty sure he has at least a slam on Licky, so he could just switch here. Oh, he doesn't have a slam, but he's forced to throw the energy.
Even if you don't have a Lick breakpoint.
Yeah, and then you you get at least 2 counters, so it should just rebank your slam if I'm. Oh, he gets 3. Oh, I thought he was 2 off. He was 3 off, but he gets 3. It lives. I think our friend ITSAXN may have lagged out there for a second.
Oh no, is my internet dying?
I think it might have been my internet for a little bit there.
Oh. Okay.
But I think we're back. Yeah, people in my chat are saying rip stream, so I think it was my internet actually, but I think we're back.
That's not good, but it's better than it being mine.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess it would probably be better if it's mine, because then your stream wouldn't be impacted. It'd just be like, what's ITSAXN doing over there? Lagging out.
Yeah.
Kind of an unfortunate set there for his Violet, so I'm being honest. Lag really impacted this. I think, all things considered, Pablo did play well, and it is his right to dispute as a competitor. So I hope no one like sends him hate or anything for like what happened this game. It's just like, that's where it's state of the game. Like, that's more on the tournament organizers and stuff to really, fix the state of the game and make sure that the game runs properly.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm getting a laptop stand here for a second. All right. Oh, that is too high. Okay, never mind. I was gonna try and get a laptop stand because I think it's just my PC's overheating, but I mean, it's probably adjustable, right? Surely it is adjustable somehow. Yeah, I think it was literally just my PC overheating because I run everything off a laptop and it is 1,000 degrees right now.
Oh, you don't have like a dedicated desktop for it?
Nah, it's I still just run everything off a PC.
Oh, maybe one day, stream upgrade we can see in the future.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is it fixed?
Okay, looks like
it should be. Hopefully, I'm trying to. Oh, is it this that I have to do?
You have these tournaments. That's a cool pick to see on Tomahawk's team.
I think. Are we cooking now? I think we might be cooking now. Hold on.
Now I'm.
It's still not. Oh no. I just quit, bro. I quit. All right. I think we're just gonna have to grin and bear it. Chat. I think we're just gonna have to grin and bear it with my 1,000-degree PC.
Hopefully it can survive long enough.
Yeah, we should be good. I'll prop it up a little bit so it'll get a bit more air. Okay. There we go. Winners finals. Shadow Piplup, attack weighted or high rank. I was running the Sims and attack weighted, at least as far as Great League goes, picks up a ton of matchups because it already has like no bulk anyway. So I was taking a look at like high attack. Like I ended up building like a 14 attack and it sims crazy better than a high rank just because you're already shielding everything. But yeah, Tomahawk with the Venusaur, our first grass sighting of the day, I think. Like an actual grass type that isn't a Licky or a Cresselia.
Yeah, I think Venusaur is kind of something that could be used as... You might not expect the Poison type to beat the Psychic type with the Cresselia, but as long as the Cresselia is not running Future Sight, it has a pretty good matchup there, right?
Yeah.
If we look at Marco's team in general, the only grass resist that you have is Charge Bug, which is a decent-ish counter to the Venusaur, but Sludge Bomb still does a lot of damage. It doesn't look like it's Shadow Venusaur, unless the graphics just not accurate there. So non-Shadow Venusaur could actually put in a lot of work into this team.
Oh, people are mentioning that, oh yeah, Abomasnow is a grass type. I just view Abomasnow so much as an ice type that I forget it's a grass.
We did see a lot of Abomasnow.
We did see a lot of Abomasnow, yeah.
You know, we'll just pretend like we didn't say that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It is actually a regular Venusaur.
We'll just forget here. This is, I mean, switch.
I feel like this is probably a favorable matchup for Charjabug just in general, because you get the X Scissors and they'll two-shot pretty easily here.
The pacing is just okay. The catch onto the Gligar.
Catch?
Nice. Just
I just realized how free Gligar is into Marco's team.
Yeah, he
like literally no hard answer.
He benched the Licky, so now he's forced to mirror.
Yep, by doing this as well, it's going to open up your Venusaur even more in the late game. You baited out the Gligar, and if you can take a shield somehow here, I don't know if you will be able to, but if you can take a shield, then your Dugong's going to be able to farm this down and start throwing Icy Winds as well into things.
Oh, that'd be so nice. Yeah, Marcos is at back-to-back here. Tomahawk now has one. The question is, who wins charge attack priority? Ooh, Tomahawk does.
The non-Shadow Gligar as well here. Normally we see Shadow Gligars basically on every single team. This non-Shadow Gligar is actually kind of coming in handy here. It's going to be able to survive this move, whereas a Shadow probably would not be able to.
Yeah, Shadow on Shadow definitely could have been a different story. Going for a slight undercharge here, but it's still going to knock out. That wasn't enough of an undercharge. And this way, he doesn't get a lot of farm on the Dugong. He might honestly farm with the Venu. Nah, you take too much damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a tricky situation. Who do you want to get the energy on here?
Oh,
and Dugong,
no future sight.
Not the... Okay, Venusaur is in a decent spot this game because it did catch the move. It has energy still. You'd think that this would be a terrible matchup for Dugong, but if you can get debuffs, it's not that bad.
It can put in a surprising amount of work. Shadow is typically preferred, Drew, on Gligar. Like, we have seen some normal Gligars this season, but a lot of it has been competitors who just don't have the Shadow, which is why it's really nice that the Shadow is back. Ooh, tries for the catch.
Oh, nice attempt. That was a very good attempt by Tomahawk there. The way to turn and catch the grass knot. But Marcos saw right through it. He waited. He made sure that the Icy Wind, or the Ice Shard rather, was coming through or not.
Oh, is he going for charge attack priority? Oh, he doesn't get it. That is an entire
That is so rough. Giving a free 4-turn move.
Yeah, that hurts.
4 turns of energy and damage for nothing.
He does make another one, though. Venu is loaded. I think Dugong has energy, but Dugong should lose CMP to Charja, I think, because I just assume Dugong loses CMP to everything.
I think the best case for Tomahawk is that Ice Shard can knock out. I don't know if it will.
Oh.
Okay, he actually throws it. I don't think it knocks out, though. I think you get 2 discharges.
He lets it go. The discharge connects. And he does get both. Yep.
That grass banked so much energy.
And that's game, yeah.
Good attempt by Tomahawk. The Dugong, unfortunately, just kind of had nowhere to go in the back.
Yeah, Marcos is a fellow Twitch streamer as well. He doesn't stream in
buff even its worst matchups.
Very true, very true. Oh no, my computer. Computer, please.
Uh-oh.
I think it only did it for a second. I think we're back. Computer.
I have the stream up on the site here. I can generally see that it's still working. So.
Okay, that's good.
There's every now and then a bit of stutter.
Yeah. I definitely needed to. I probably should have like unplugged my or like turned off my PC overnight because I was up for hours recording videos, but I didn't. So.
It's been overworked.
Yeah, my computer needs its weekend as well. So.
Poor guy. Interesting enough, 2 Annihilates, but we didn't see Annihilate on either side last game there.
Yeah, they chose not to bring it, which is a bit interesting. So
I assume Annihilate into Venusaur in the 2-shield, like if you have one counter, the Annihilate probably does do pretty well in that match.
I imagine so.
Wow, this team just disrespected Veno on the lead actually pretty hard.
Yeah.
Like if you ever have to swap out down energy, that Venusaur is just gonna frenzy and dip whatever comes in.
Yeah. And frenzy impacts everything on this team, which is so brutal.
Yeah.
Like Marcos kind of
backline here is looking a little rough for Marcos.
Let's take a peek. Oh yeah.
Like, you're gonna get switch advantages Tomahawk, so you're likely gonna get the Gligar onto that Charger Bug, and the Venusaur, which is a good enough matchup into the Licky. That I think Tomahawk is in a good position here, game 2.
Sounds good. Yeah, and
it's
with
Body Slam through.
With Moonblast, I mean, you just don't have that like closing power like you do with Future Sight. And he makes the slam, and barring, I mean, he did throw an alignment once, so if the Crest lives on 1 HP, then it could just be because of that. It doesn't. It gets knocked out barely. In comes the Charger, but he will make a slam here, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, surely this energy is going to go somewhere useful in the back.
Surely.
All of this energy.
Oh,
yeah, that
no.
Is going to come through here and do like 25%.
Yeah.
And Marcos is going to be a little sad to see that it's a Venusaur in the back and not like... I don't even know what you'd want to see in the back, honestly, at this point. Most things have played like enough play.
But, I mean,
yeah, like
even Lantern has enough play where you can chip it and still be okay.
Yeah. So at this point, as long as you get one Frenzy Plant through these shields, or you strip shields entirely, Tomahawk will be able to take game number 2.
Oh, he got a couple licks there that he didn't deserve.
Yeah, that was... I don't know if that was like visual catch-up or like... okay, well, weak connection.
Weak connection, there we go!
20 licks he probably shouldn't have.
Yo, my computer is clearly taking inspiration from the venue Wi-Fi right now.
Yeah, watching Pokemon Go streams is not a good influence for it.
Yeah, rough.
So, like, I plant off or do you disables? I like this play because if you take these licks on your Gligar, you could actually start getting into range, potentially, of X Scissors from that Gligar or from that Charger Bug.
Marcos can switch here, so he might try and go for a catch.
Oh! Which isn't a... Oh my goodness.
Oh, the prediction by Tomahawk. What a read.
That was...
What a read. That's beautiful.
Exactly what he had to do there.
That was beautiful. Okay. The overfarm as well.
He's on his 3 cycle.
That is perfect energy management there. That's confidence. After that play, I'm feeling really good about Tomahawk winning this game 3.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a play like that, right, the momentum really shifts in your favor. Your opponent starts getting a little bit in their, like, man, I might be fighting a decent player now. I'm going to have to start really going into tryhard mode.
Yeah.
That Venusaur still has a move. Get the farm down here.
I like the power whip, just understanding that
it's tactical. It does more damage. Very well played to Tomahawk, though. He made the plays that he needed to make. Obviously, the alignment was in his favor in the back, but he did everything that he needed to do to keep that advantage. Beautiful. And he was so dominant, making that simultaneous swap.
That was beautiful. Very nicely done by Tomahawk. Yeah, that's definitely got to be a morale crusher for Marcos there.
Yeah, he was 1 win at this point. He's going to be able to come back from that loss. That's it.
Yeah, bouncing back is definitely going to be a bit tough. All right.
What's if he can?
Come on, YouTube, please. All right, let me switch over to this screen. Rip stream again? Oh, come on, bro.
That's so unfortunate. We're almost at the end.
Yeah, we are almost at the end.
To my computer.
Computer, please.
we just ask another like hour from you, please. Come on. Okay, maybe. But is the stream ever gonna come back?
Hopefully, it is showing no more dropped frames, so we should hopefully be back. Yo, accident chat just saying rip. I believe we should be back. I believe we should be back.
Yeah, I think so. Looks like our screen mirroring is doing decent here.
Okay. Oh no, Gligar in the Charger. Oh no.
Okay. So we have the Cresselia safe swap, which was actually a really safe switch here. Tomahawk chooses to answer it with his Licky rather than his Venusaur, which would resist all of the charge moves. I think that's probably because Psycho Cuts would add up over time.
Definitely.
Being super effective psychic type damage.
Yeah, Mini Coke.
On, how quickly that.
When I had an iPhone like many years back, the home button was broken, so I know all about the assistive touch stuff. So yeah, you're good. But yeah, we are back. We're gonna see a shield from the Lickitung here since Crest shielded. Just really understanding that switch advantage here is so nice, and Licky can always preserve alignment as needed. So should
putting in 2 shields here.
Ooh.
That, like, man, I don't know if I like that play from Marcos, because if you go down shields, Venusaur can kind of just sweep you.
Yeah. Venu is so rough.
And it's not like you have a hard answer to that Gligar either, right? Like, your full team takes neutral or super effective from some of its moves. Like, flying is just straight up unresisted, actually, across the board.
Ooh, and that is the difference of Tomahawk threw on alignment at one point, so he actually gets outpaced here. He lets it go, and he loses switch advantage, but this sets up the Venusaur, man.
This
farm!
No! It has nothing to hit you.
Oh,
and you know this is a grass knot.
Oh, no!
It's not going to do any damage.
Oh, no.
This farm down's huge. He knows the worst case scenario.
No. Not the stream, bro, please.
Anything but the stream.
Alright. Oh, hold on.
Maybe something's happening?
Yeah, actual RIP laptop
mirroring
moment.
Is kind of backed up.
Actual RIP laptop moment.
Man.
Oh, man.
Poor guy.
Like, normally it does fine with this stuff, but I clearly had it on for too many hours last night, and now I'm asking a lot of it, and it's struggling deeply. Which is unfortunate.
Now that we're getting into like the winners finals, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure Tomahawk should have this game.
Yeah, he is in a pretty is the mirroring back up and whatnot.
Here. He knows Gligar is just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. These X scissors come through, they do absolutely nothing. And the aerial ace will be reached.
And
Tomahawk
he takes it.
Takes game number 3.
And he takes it. Very nicely done by
Well
Tomahawk.
played to him. He definitely swung the momentum back. Yeah, he swung the momentum way back in his favor during game 2 there with his heads up plays, his making sure he would swap out when his opponent was trying to snipe him down. He guarantees his spot, I think, winner's side.
Yes.
Into tomorrow. So very excited to see him play with that Venusaur, see how that goes for him.
Very, very nicely done by a Tomahawk there. So very nicely done. What I think I might do, because we made it most of the way through day 2, is I think I might call it here to give my poor laptop a respite. So I might just take a look at it for my wife's saying that apparently it might be our internet company, because apparently the Wi-Fi went out as well. So I might pause because we got through a decent chunk of day 1. I might pause it here and then maybe try again tomorrow when I have been far kinder to my laptop. So But yes,
sounds good.
Thank you so much for joining me, Axon. I definitely appreciate having you. And yeah, some great battles today. And I'm excited with a more functioning computer to see how Liverpool ends up. So
yeah, for sure.
all right. Thank you so much, guys. All right. Peace.